All right. Hey, folks, what's going on? God bless y'all. Holy smokes. What is going on, folks? This is Chasing Truth on the Dark Waters Radio channel over on the Paranormal Radio app. Also on YouTube, Chasing Truth Shawn G. Stimulate, Paper Chase, Bo Nita, Midnight Amongst Monsters. Hey, what's going on, brother? Are you kidding me? I need to give you a wrench. Are you kidding me? And here we go. If you don't want the wrenches I gave you, please let me know. But there you go. Drop your links. Paper Chaser. Emma, what's going on with you? Donnie Cho. Hey. Saw those pictures, Donnie, from your investigation with a few people the other night. Laura and I think Dylan. Was Dylan there? I believe so. Rothian, what's going on, brother? All right, let's turn this music down. Got a few station keeping things to go. And there you go. We're going to do some paranormal news here in just a minute. I actually will be doing a show with Dylan and Laura over on Creepy Unsolved tomorrow night. So, is he here? Where's he at? Dylan, his brothers were there. Oh, that's cool, brother. Yoko, Yukon Sam. There you go, brother. Hey, what's going on? But yeah, I'm going to be doing a stream. I don't guess it's a stream. It's pre-recorded over on Creepy Unsolved tomorrow night. And then whenever that airs, holy cow, it's going to be something. And God has blessed me beyond blessings, all I can tell you. With all my family and my friends. Incredible. But we're going to have to get the prayer out here. Prayer. And get the show started. Let me pull up my usual prayer list and we'll get her going here. Here we go. There's my prayer that I usually use. I humbly ask our Lord Jesus Christ and our Heavenly Mother Mary that if in accordance with your holy will, that all curses, evil, demonic involvement, and or attacks being sent against us be blocked and be sent back from whence it came. Dear God in heaven, please help those out that are hurting body, mind, and spirit. Those are sick and ill of body. Please send your angels of mercy to those folks. In Jesus Christ's name, amen. All right, folks, if this is the first time you joined me in a while, or not in a while, or is this the first time you ever joined me? My name's Shawn Graham. I'm on the Dark Waters Radio channel right now over on the Paranormal Radio app, plus my own YouTube channel, Shawn G Chasing the Truth, or Chasing Truth Shawn G, whichever one that comes up with. And I'm also on the Fringe.fm on Saturday nights. And then I've got a Southern Supernatural Friday night show. But hey, Sue, Keith, buddy, what is going on with you, man? I ain't heard from you in a while. How's Jimmy, your dad there, bud? You doing all right? So, let's see. Tomorrow night, I will be on with Dylan. Let's see. Is Dylan in the chat? Creepy. Somebody, if you can, grab Creepy Unsolved's links, if you don't mind. Anybody that's got a wrench there, and drop them in there for Creepy Unsolved. I appreciate it. And then going to go over. Oh, I got contacted today by. Oh, Cisco's in here. Hey, what is going on with you? I got contacted today by a blogger, writer, blogger, owner of a website. Says, hey, I want to do a piece on you, a write up. I was like, okay, why? I was like, all right, man, what's up? And yeah, they're going to write up something about me and my open lines, saying that I'm the next Art Bell or something. I was like, Art Bell? Man, you can't put my name and Art Bell's name in the same sentence other than I listen to Art Bell forever and a day and still do. That's about it. But what will be, hold on just a second, the website. Oh, let me grab the website, pop it up here. I actually was starting to look at it. It's called Paranormal Outlaw, and I actually like the website. I was like, okay, well, we'll go there and look at it. Barry Browning, what's up, brother? I ain't seen you in a hot minute. Chris Jarvis. Julie, hey. So we'll be opening the open lines here in a little bit at 931-994-6917, and we'll be taking some calls. But I want to go over a couple of things. Obviously, you saw some UFO stuff that popped up in the chambers of the United States Congress. Yeah, there we go. Hey, Mary, thank you for popping that in there. You're a peach, hon. Oh, man, I love me some coffee. And may share up my camera tonight for the house. And holy cow. But yeah, I was, I don't know why in the world people think that I actually am worthy of actually doing any kind of news story on, but why not? Medium dark roast, Ricky Burns. Medium dark roast. Just a hint of, let's see, what I have in it. Half and half. That's my go-to tonight. And then for a backup, lemonade. Until we run out of calls or whatever goes on. But hold on just a second. Well, let's share this thing out here, and I'll show you. I have not seen the write-up, but as soon as I get that, I'll definitely show it to everybody that I possibly could, because why not? It's been a hot minute since I had a write-up, and it wasn't about anything paranormal, but there you go. So this is the website that my write-up's going to be on. The owner of the website contacted me and said, hey, I'd love to have you as one of a write-up about you. Be kind. What is that? Is Danielle feeling any better? Yes, Danielle is feeling loads better. I actually texted with her about a dozen times today. She is actually where she went and visited a church up in next to that lake. What was it, Mysterious Lake or whatever? But fantastic. She found a feather in the I forgot what the father's name was, but said that was a angel that dropped that for her. So that's fantastic. But she's feeling a whole lot better, and thanks for asking. I will pass that along. Be kind. That is a blessing. Jean Paul, what's going on? So anyway, like I said, today was just a blessing after blessing after blessing. Can't complain whatsoever. God has, I don't know why in the world God likes to bless me so much, but he certainly has. Paranormal Outlaw, I know him. You do? Well, that's cool. So definitely, let's see what we got here. Let me pull this up. I had a couple. Well, let's go. Russian scientists decipher extraterrestrial messages and discover a warning about humanity. Based on Russian scientists, the Earth is presently within remaining phases of a cycle for the event of human consciousness and the natural world. There may be only a crucial lower in Earth's magnetism or magnetic subject. Scientists image that this might result in pole shift and ultimately the catastrophic international result in type of cataclysm. Russian researcher Dr. Victoria Popova. Sorry about that. My tongue gets in the way. After 15 years of analysis, they found, well, let's get this back here. They found two keys, analog and digital, with these keys and deciphering mysterious crop circles and different extraterrestrial things. So that's one of them. Man and Navy astronaut. You know who this is. That's yep, there you go. And then the documentary filmmaker reports official Loch Ness Monster sighting. And that's off of Paranormal Outlaw. So anyway, long story short, they're going to write me up for my open lines like Art Bell. Apparently, I'm the only one who does the proper unscreened open lines. but you never know. Oh, vote for no pole shifting, Beacon says. Well, apparently the pole has shifted quite a bit. North Pole has swung. I think the North Pole's actually on North American continent now, if I remember, or it's getting close to, or either the ice sheet or something like that. But Cisco, honey, you need to call in. We need to talk. 931-994-6917. We'll get that. I need to talk to you, see what's going on with you. I've been enjoying your shows every Sunday, Monday night, for sure. And well, let's see what else I've got here. Blogs, contact about us, privacy, that whole thing. Exploring the powers of Pennywise. Well, here's something. Pennywise. One may assume merely avoiding Pennywise could be sufficient to remain protected in Derry. However, the clown has a variety of tips up its sleeve. That sounds like that's a little bit on the pop culture kind of deal. I'm going to stay away from that one. I just want real paranormal. That's about it. Oh, aliens and UFOs. Hey, right there's one. Like to grab a hold tough. Man was able to film a mysterious humanoid on his house roof. Son of a gun. What is that? Man in a rural Mexican city observed bizarre sounds coming from outdoors. Despite the fact that he was afraid, he determined to have a look at his video digital camera. After listening to some rustling sounds, and a person took out his digital camera to get a greater view, the person realized that he was trying within the incorrect place. After listening to an odd pitched sound from the opposite aspect, a towering extraterrestrial-like creature emerged from the home's roof, staring down the man. The bizarre humanoid disappeared after a number of seconds, and then the man, terrified, chooses to show his opposite means and returns to his house. English is a little bit weird. I wonder if that's translated from Mexico, Spanish, Mexican. All right, there you go. Crazy. All right, okay. 931-994. Let's get the link here. There, Cisco. I'll give you a link. Hide this. Stop sharing. Hide this. Copy clipboard. Hello, hello. Are you kidding me? Let's see who else is in here. Give Cisco the number of link. There you go. 931-994-6917. There you go. And we'll try to get this thing on and running. Thank you. Thank you. And see what's happening here. Well, I keep getting text messages. What's all these text messages about? Oh, okay. And Louis Felipe. All right, we got a call. Give me just a second and see what we got going on. Okay, unscreened caller, you're live on the air. What's your name? Where are you from?
Hey, darling, how you doing?
Cisco Dear, what is going on with you? It's been a hot minute since I heard your voice.
Whew, man, it's been a long time, hasn't it, sweetie?
Yeah, it has been.
I'll tell you, it's crazy with this podcast and everything else. You get into it and you try to find your format, what you want to do, and then how you think it goes is not how it goes. You're spending so much time editing, and I remember we had you on. You and I had a lovely talk, and right around that time is when I was having all kinds of technical problems, and I had this like buzzing through it, and it was so loud you couldn't even hear when you were talking, and you and I couldn't hear that. It was on the recording playback. Just different things you don't think about, until you're doing it.
All right.
And it's trying to find that format. So when I started out, I was doing the podcast, which is where it goes out to Apple and all the catchers. I did that for a couple of years, and then all of my equipment just went. So I had to buy, get each piece a little at a time to try to do what I'm doing now, which is I sat and I thought about it. I said, I really want to do this because you'll know what I'm talking about. When you can talk live to people and they're asking questions or they have input, it's so important. There's so much knowledge out there. And I think that's what we've really been missing over a lot of time in this subject, the connection of the real people, not the ones that get to be on TV that, of course they were, really real people in the beginning, but once producers and stuff get it in charge of a show, you almost become a character. Does that make sense? Like a lot of these paranormal shows, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah. I just feel like I'm an operator sometimes, but other than that, I love doing this show. Let me tell you a little secret.
Yeah.
When Dark Waters came to me and said, Shawn, hey, we need to do a live show and do live call-ins. And I was like, well, okay. And I actually dreaded it for a little while. But in my alter ego life, when I was in healthcare and I was, a manager, then a regional manager, I went out and done all kinds of public speaking. So I kind of, got over that nerve-wracking crap with public speaking. But it's still nerve-wracking to get on here. Now I get a little nervous every once in a while. But to do the open lines for the first few shows, it was I had the jitters all over the freaking place. So.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I still do that. I think it gets to the point where like you're right about an hour before where you're loading stuff. And with me, I have to do it a little different than everybody else. Like some people can share screen like you do.
Yeah.
For the way my system is, I can't do that because I won't have any sound. So anything, I could share a picture, but my audience won't have the sound for it. The way my sound, it's all messed up. It's working fine now, and I'm scared to touch it. But I actually brought Sir Bowden in from New York, and he went through and got everything hooked up, my mixers and everything to where it sounded good. And now that's why I got the idea to record some of these older shows. And I thought to myself, there's a lot of people who've never gotten a chance to see these, from 1970s, 1960s. There's so much good information out there, like In Search of and, Unsolved Mysteries. And it just happened by accident. We were looking at that one great ghost story, Steve Stockton and I were talking about, the Telly Savalas, which just had it all. It was almost like time travel. It had he was sitting in a ghost car, got a ride in a ghost car, which is incredible.
I'll tell you that one. I did not hear that ghost car story.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, it was the Telly Savalas one where he got I'll give you a ride. You don't remember that?
No, I don't. Actually, if I know it, I'll say, hey, I know it, but I honestly don't know that one.
Well, it was. Do you know who I mean? Telly Savalas.
I know.
Kojak.
Kojak with the lollipop. Yeah, I know who Kojak is.
Now he's going to tell it much, much better, and there's definitely an episode on there. It's Monday Madness, and I believe it's called something and a side of Savalas is what it is.
I believe I missed
Steve
that
actually reminded me, and it's basically he was a young kid, teenager. He took his date out, took her home, and wasn't paying attention, ran out of gas on the way home.
Mm-hmm.
And as he was walking through, he walked through like a little thicket to get, to the other road where he knew there might have been a gas station that had been open. When he got through the other road, this guy pulls up in this beautiful car and says, I'll give you a ride. But it was an odd voice. It was kind of high pitched. It just sounded funny to him. But he was like, well, I ran out of gas. I apologize. Certainly appreciate the help. But he goes, there's a gas station down here. We'll go. And Telly Savalas, if he's telling this in the 70s, he's talking about when he was a kid. It had to be late 40s, early 50s.
Right.
where it actually happened. So times were a little different. People had gas cans, the kind of things that were going on. But so anyway, he takes him to the gas station. He gets gas. Then he realizes he has no money. So the guy actually loans him $1 to get gas. Back then, it would have bought you, probably filled up that can. And he said, well, I want to pay you back. Look, I'm working. I want to pay you back. At least give me your name and address, and I'll send you the money or bring it to you. So the guy wrote down his name and his address, and I believe a phone number. I could be wrong about that, but I know he got the name and address. So he goes to work and he gets the money and he wants to send it back because he's a man of his word, and a young man of his word. And he calls and he finds out, he gets a hold of, it was a business, I believe, and he gets a hold of the wife. And of course she comes on and says, I don't know, I'm sorry you're asking for him. He passed a couple of years ago. And he says, I don't understand. What do you mean? He just gave me a ride last night. Well, then she gets upset, gets mad, hangs up on him because she thinks it's a joke. Well, Telly stuck with it. And he goes, no, this is really bugging me. I don't know what to do. Calls back and he explains it to her a little bit calmer. He says, ma'am, I'm not doing this to irritate you. You can imagine how the phone call went because he really said he had to work on it to get her to understand that he wasn't joking. And over time, she agreed to meet with him and he explained to her that he actually got a ride from him. And she burst out into tears because he described the car, with the suit he was wearing that she had buried him in. And she said, I don't understand, he didn't have a really high voice though when he mentioned the voice, but he had committed suicide by cutting his own throat. And Telly said that might have been why his voice was so high. Now, it didn't end there. She showed him the letters, some that he had signed to her, of course, throughout his life. The signature matched Shawn.
Wow.
And a few years later, he's on the golf course and he hears this voice again. And he said, I'm going to get the quote wrong, I'm paraphrasing here. It said something like, bad day in Dallas today. Something along those lines. He goes back in, finishes golf game, goes in the bar. He's this same guy in the suit. And I believe he said it had an umbrella. I can't remember exactly what he said. He was holding something in his hand. And he heard him say it. He turned around to look at the other guys to see if they had heard him. They didn't see the guy. And he just like, oh gosh, he put him in a spot because he recognized this from the guy who gave him the ride. He tries to blow it off, in front of his friends. He doesn't want to act, like all shook up. And he goes and sits in the bar and on the TV finds out that in Dallas, the moment that guy was telling him on the golf course, they had shot John F. Kennedy in Dallas that day. So at the same time, he tells them. And he said there was more to the story, and it was too personal to tell. And then Telly Savalas died and never got to tell us the rest.
Holy cow. No,
Isn't that something?
That is something. That's amazing. Ghosts Ghosts and come and tell you real up to the minute contemporary stuff. That's amazing.
That is. And that one's really perplexing me because it's got so much in it. The fact that the physical, I mean, how do you explain? I can explain seeing a ghost. I can see the manifest, but how did he manifest the car? How do they do that? I mean, you can't, it's not just where they're putting the picture in your mind and you think you're seeing it. He was sitting in it. He got a ride in the car. So, I mean, it's just one of those stories that when you hear something like that, you think you've got a little bit of understanding on this subject. And then you hear something like that from a man of that kind of integrity. Because Telly was nothing if he wasn't a man of integrity. He was a real, the way he was like, you'd say like a man's man. He had that honorable kind of, it's a trip, Shawn. It really is.
Yeah, he had the man code card to the washroom.
I guess you could say that.
Yeah,
but it was like I don't want to say a different time where people carried themselves differently and wouldn't think about doing certain things, like men still stood up when a woman got up from the table to go to the restroom and stuff like that. I don't even know if they do that anymore. I think we killed that with feminism and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But people carried themselves, whether no matter who was around. They had a certain at least that's what they put forward to the world. They might have been different behind closed doors, but it was different. And I just always thought that story was amazing. But anyway, that's what started it. I found out that a lot of these things were just open source, and which means two things. One, you can use them, you can show them to people, you can put it on your whatever. But it also means something else, Shawn. It means that nobody cared enough to keep these things going, like to put them on TV or put them all together in a set or something to put them out there. And I've discovered some wonderful shows like that. United States was the only one that had them. Australia had a wonderful show called The Extraordinary, and Canada's, got some great ones out there. I forget what it's called, Creepy Canada, but they're from the 70s, and a lot of them never got picked back up. A lot of old movies like that too. So I just find it's wonderful.
They don't make them like that anymore. That's the problem. They're all looking for that gotcha moment, and once that gotcha moment's done, they don't fill in the backstory to say why something's happening. I love how you formatted your show and present, hey, this is why this paranormal activity or this supernatural activity occurs. Give the backstory to it. That's the whole meat and potatoes of the whole thing. Oh yeah.
Well,
you okay?
A lot of times, I'm sorry, I was drinking and went down the wrong way.
Okay.
It's just Sprite. But yeah, the thing is most of the time we're guessing, and it's all theory, right? I mean, none of us really knows. All we can do is take, like with me, I've got 50 years in this. And that's not even counting my younger ages when it was happening and I just didn't know what was going on because I was a kid, but I still know nothing. You don't know anything. You're guessing at, this is what's happening right now. I can, sort it with the information that I have, that I think I understand, and then see if this makes sense. And then another case comes along that either adds to that or blows it out of the water. Do you know what I mean? It changes your mind. It's like watching a like a crime case or something in court, and you get a little bit of the facts, and you get what you think is all of the evidence, and then one piece of evidence is introduced, towards the end that just blows everything you thought out of the water, maybe changes your opinion a 180. And I think that happens a lot in the paranormal, but that's why I like doing what you and I do, because we get to talk to the live chat, answer questions. People can say, that happened to me too, and it sounded just like that. And that's where you really get that magic moment where you get that validation that you're not the only one that's experienced that. You're not crazy, or you may be crazy, but at least you're experiencing stuff other people experience too.
Right.
Interesting.
Oh, I need to get back on your show.
Really cool.
I need to get back on your show and redo the podcast that we did, or just join you on the live stream.
Oh, please.
Anytime.
That's what I wanted to ask you. I wanted to know, because like I said, I'm digging through these shows, and these past couple months, there's been so much stuff going on. We've got death in the family. We've got all kinds of other things, people sick, and work has been crazy. So I didn't want to schedule guests and then have to cancel because it's been that up in the air. And I never want to do that to a guest. So I was trying to do as many shows as I could do this way, and find something. Like last week what did we do last weekend? Bobby Mackey's, and we did a couple of women like Kate Morgan, who actually got to come back to someone almost through bloodlines, they found out that they did have a connection. I believe this guy's, so it was a lawyer who went to the hotel just to look into what he thought was some interesting crimes that had happened at that hotel. And it all played out that Kate Morgan had a child and she couldn't raise it. She didn't want to put it up for adoption. She knew a vicar who, who couldn't have kids, obviously, raised the boy. And that turned out to be her son was taken care of by this pastor who was this lawyer's great-great-grandfather. So they had this kind of love energy connection, not bloodline, but we know that love energy connection it's the strongest thing.
Oh yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing stuff. We've got so much to learn about this. And I just felt back going back 40, 50 years. What did they know then? Like, look at that Bigfoot stuff, Shawn. You got 3 guys sitting around a picnic table talking about Bigfoot, trying to, prove his existence or its existence. And they each had 20 years in, 25 years in, 18 years.
Right.
And that was in 1974. So now we're really almost going back 70 years going, where are we with Bigfoot? It's interesting to look at.
We're still at the square one with Bigfoot. That's the weird thing with all these advances we have, FLIR cameras, ability to do drones, multiple, game cameras out the ass.
Mm-hmm.
And we're barely getting grainy photos. The best one was that Patty Patterson film way back when.
Right.
Yeah, that I have seen so many documentaries that prove that that's real, authentic, and I've had a few that pop up said no, that was either Patterson or Gimli, one of the two in the suit, and I'm like, nah, not back then. There was no suit available back then. You had these square, big old,
not like that,
alien, goofy looking pieces of crap suits. Hell, who hasn't seen all those crazy alien movies from the 50s and 60s?
Oh yeah, some of those are great. I can remember being so scared, and then when I was a little kid watching those, like I say, on the big Zenith, sitting on the floor about three inches from the screen. You're sitting there watching.
You were the remote control.
Bigger than life.
Yeah, you were the remote control. Change the channel there, Cisco.
Yeah, I mean it. I can remember one that came out, and the guys, it was supposed to be on a space, it was a space adventure movie, whatever. But they were supposed to be on the space capsule, and you look behind them, and it was just this, particle board behind them. What's the one with the holes called? The board that's got all the holes, pegboard.
Yeah.
It was just that painted silver, and the monster had carrots for fingers. They'd cut the fingers out of the gloves, so it was like carrots. They painted silver, but it was just so spooky when they did it. And you're 10 years old on a Saturday morning, It's crazy.
War of the Worlds, the old 56, 57, whatever that movie, the black one, that spooked the living crap out of me. I honestly thought, I know that was a remake of the old Orson Welles radio show. I honestly thought that we were getting invaded. And I think I saw that like 7 years old, and I had to go say, Dad, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is back in 1977, whenever that was, 77.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what happened in the original War of the Worlds too. No matter how much they said this was, fake. I can remember my mom telling me they were home listening to it on the radio, but they had heard the announcement. Some people were coming in the middle, like driving in the car or whatever. And those were the people that were panicking, that turned it on halfway and just didn't hear the announcements in between. They just heard the realistic, play in between, and they thought it was really happening. And I don't believe that a lot of people committed suicide and stuff like that. I think that was something that people actually did commit suicide at that rate for that, for that year and everything that was happening. They were just blaming on that. Does that make sense? Wow. I don't think it was as big as they made it, but, sensationalized, whatever.
Well,
but she said it was really something. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So how many, news reports out there, or, quote unquote pop culture, whatever, is here's the thing: is pop culture, kind of, ingraining in this the possibility of these aliens coming in or whatever, the old Project Bluebeam kind of stuff from way back in the 60s.
Well, what I know about Project Bluebeam, you fit it in a thimble, as my granny used to say. But basically, there was documentation, and I believe that this is now open source information where you can go read through the documents.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of us have heard about Project Northwoods. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about right off the top of my head, off your head, but there was a lot of plans during the 60s, so early 60s, all the Kennedy years against Cuba.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the plans actually came out. Now, this is what they had in 62, 63. They were going to project the Madonna, and not the not the Madonna that sings, because that would be a whole different picture up there. But they were actually going to put Mother Mary in the clouds,
mm-hmm.
speaking in Spanish, telling them to revolt, telling the people to revolt against Castro. Now, if they could do this in 62, what do you think that they could do now?
Quite a bit more. They've got all these blue lasers, red lasers, you name it. They could do just about everything.
Exactly.
There was a picture that I saw probably like 5 or 6 years ago on Google Earth where you can drop a pin and you can look around of actually, I think, angels or maybe even Mother Mary looking down from the clouds in the off a road. I don't know if you remember seeing that or not.
I didn't see it. I heard about it, and then I saw. If you YouTube, I don't know what it's called, because I think it may very well, but I know it was Chinese New Year, and it was a dragon that they put up with this hologram. I'm not going to say they used Bluebeam, but it was a hologram, and the dragon actually wrapped around this building where people were eating, and so picture like the Empire State Building that has like on its top floors is going to have like a restaurant and stuff like that, an observatory and all that, and it went all the way around. It looked as real as you and me standing here. I'm telling you.
I have to go look at that, but it doesn't surprise me.
About 2 years ago. It was Chinese. I think if you put in maybe hologram Chinese New Year, it might pop up. Maybe one of your mods can look. I'm on my phone right now. If I go back and look, I'll probably lose you. But it's so real looking. So I can tell you, if this was, not on YouTube, I would tell you a couple more things. But it's basically, trust me, they can do it, and they can make it look just as real. So if you're asking me, do I think that there might possibly be an alien invasion, that they might be saying a fake alien invasion? My take on that would be fake alien invasion. Yes, I think the words are correct, except I think that aliens are going to be fake. I think the invasion might be real. You see where I'm going?
Yeah,
you see where I'm going with that?
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
You picking up what I'm putting down?
Yeah, I'm smelling what you're selling. I'm smelling what you're selling.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, so here's the other thing. I know several people, even talked to a couple. Mad what was that Martian guy? I can't remember the guy. He did a podcast radio show, and he was absolutely 1,000% sold that we had boots on Mars. Do you believe anything like that?
Do I think we have boots on Mars?
Yeah.
I'm just going to say on a firm, and it's not a cop out. I'm just going to say I don't know. And the reason I would say I don't know is, first of all, I've not been there. I don't believe anything you tell me. I think anything's possible at this point, because I've seen stuff that I thought was impossible. you know. So I've learned enough to know at this point in my life, I don't know a lot, but I wouldn't doubt anything. I mean, Mars to me, what I've seen of it looks so spent. You know, like somebody had it and destroyed it, or it was just dead to begin with. I don't know. It's, but I mean, I've had very smart people tell me um, that there's a lot going on up there that we don't have a clue. And I'm of the camp too, is like, what a terrible waste of space, right? I do believe that there's life, but as far as us being on Mars, I don't know. Elon Musk seems to have a real, you know, passion for it.
He's got a hard on for Mars.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, and that cleans it up for you.
Why not? You know,
I stopped myself. That's funny.
I can't believe that you stopped.
One of us said it.
Yeah, but the other thing is he's looking to do AI and implant chips in our brains and the whole the whole nine there. So what the that to me, I haven't told you a whole lot about this, but I have, in my near-death experience, I have had a lot of recollection. I recall. How's that? I can't get the word out of my mouth. I recall God showing me the future, some of it, and the thing of it is a lot of people were able to communicate with each other just by thought. In that room.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Telepathic.
So that,
sure.
Yeah.
Oh sure. But you know, sweetie, we don't need a chip for that. You know, he might think so, but I'm going to let you know a little secret, because it's just you and I talking, right? You won't tell nobody?
I won't say nothing.
I don't think that dude's all human. I mean, the first time I saw him, now I know you pick up on vibration, you know, too. And it's all our natural ability. Just some people more tuned into it. That's all. You just got to tune your guitar. That's all.
Right.
But the first time I saw him, I'm going, he's not all human. And I don't know what else. So I don't know if this is going to sound really nuts, but what if he's part alien and come here to stir things up? What if, you know, and that could be either side. That could be good or bad. That could be in between, because there's some people that, you know, some things that would do that just to manipulate the room. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Both good and bad. They're not really good or bad. They're just, you know, on their own agenda. Everybody thinks their own agenda is a good agenda. You know what I mean? Unless you're some psychopath, but then again, even they think that they're correct. You know, you were in the way or had to be, whatever.
All right.
Their motivation could be. You see what I'm saying? I think every time people think alien, first of all, they think, okay, it's got to be from another planet or, you know, another system. I don't think that way. I think off-world or out of the world, so interdimensionals. You know, who am I to say that that's not possible if Tesla believed it? You see, that's where I'm sitting. Well, I don't really disbelieve too much, because I can't say that it doesn't exist. I'm all for all of it. I think it's all going on at the same time, but I think there's good and bad, just like there's good and bad in humans. You know, like to say a race of humans are all good or they're all here for the same thing. We know that that's literally impossible. So I don't know how we could look at, say, what we would call an alien race, like, you know, Orions or Palladians or whatever, all the ones with grays, that they're all good or all bad. So I don't know why we get so stuck on that, because there could be 10 grays in the room. 4 of them could be good, 4 of them could be bad, and the rest are just, you know, what the rest of the room is doing, you know?
Right. Now,
doesn't that make sense?
That makes sense. Think about it. All the great minds in history, you know, Tesla, you got Einstein, who was the other guy that invented lava? I forgot his name right off the top of my head. But they all, you know, Tesla and Einstein.
Franklin? Yeah. Ben Franklin?
But not the key guy.
I went way back.
Yeah, not that way back. You know, we're not that old. But but they all believed in communication with either aliens or the other side.
Yes,
So kind
correct.
of wonder, was that part of this spirituality of back in the 50s, 40s, and 60s back then, where they, just carried that on? What was that?
I think it's always, I think it's always the next thing. And I think every single person back then had the same drive that we have. We either, scared of our own mortality, or we've lost a loved one, or, whether it's a loved pet or a loved person, and it drives us. We either want to know what's on the other side so we can prepare for it. It's like you want to know the unknown, what you can't have, what you can't obtain. And I think all of those guys were just, that's the way their minds worked. What do you mean I can't have light when it's dark? Well, I'll work until I can invent something better than the candle, better than the oil lamp, better than the next thing.
Right.
So I think that's what drives them. And I think everybody has that inherent drive in them to see what's next. Some people just shut off from it though too, Shawn, which is totally understandable. It's like they don't deal with it, when it happens around them. They just kind of like drive forward and kind of like a horse with blinders on. And then some people delve in it so deep, like I've been in it all my life. And some people have said that's morbid. And I said, oh, you don't understand. It's exciting. It's invigorating. It's mind blowing, and it's so life affirming. It doesn't make you not live life. It makes you live life even that much more. It's not like you live it without fear. It's more like you skip with anticipation. You see what I mean through life? It's like this counts. What I do counts. I am accountable for the things I do. However, there's more,
Oh,
and I
absolutely.
think we kind of get excited about that, and connected to something too. I think everybody, I won't say everybody, but I think a lot of people want to feel connected. And I think now in these times, our vulnerabilities and our fragilities are almost what is connecting us more than we ever have before, or what we lost along the way. If you think about it, if you're in a small tribe of, say, 20, 30, 50 people, and you're nomads with them, and you go back and forth, say you follow the buffalo, or you follow whatever, wherever, whatever part of the world you're in, you thrive as a village, as a tribe. You work together. Everybody works together for the same thing, survival, and really nobody's more important than the other. Of course, you have, leaders and stuff like that, but not really as important. Everybody eats, everybody works, everybody goes toward the same thing. And we moved away from that in some ways, even our own families, really, because most time now families, I have a brother in California, I have a sister in Florida, I've got a person over here, where families stayed together, for so long, and then all of a sudden split and separate. And I think our fragilities and our not say weaknesses, that's not the same thing. But I think we are seeing how fragile life is. But I know that's brought a lot of people together and made them enjoy each other a little bit more, maybe look at things different over the past couple of years. And I think the stuff we're moving through now is also pulling people together. And it might not be blood family, it might be your tribe, it might be the people in this chat, it might be, that kind of thing. It's human contact, like-minded people. And I think this is one of the biggest groups there is out there, the paranormal and the supernatural, whether it's a lady who believes in miracles and prays the rosaries every day and secretly goes around and prays for everybody and watches good things happen and is happy for them, in total, total anonymous, to the whole thing. It's just the joy of recognizing it. And then you've got people that go out and seek proof because they want the proof. Are they trying to prove it to you, or trying to prove it to themselves? See, that something else exists. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get that. Personally, I'm not running out there to prove the supernatural or the paranormal. I've seen
Right.
enough. I've seen enough of it to prove it to myself. Plus my own NDE. Pretty put a lock and a little pretty bow on top of that. That hell, I already know all this stuff is real.
Sure does. Sure does. I had a MiniNDE, and I believe, and mine was so quick. Well, it didn't seem quick at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Telling, reliving it and telling it, it takes almost longer than I think, but it was, I drowned, and I actually came out of my body and saw myself, which was so weird. I saw myself under the water, but as I was observing it, I wasn't underwater. I didn't feel like I was under. I was like above it, but I could see under it. Like you'd see somebody videotaping underwater. That's how I saw it, and I could see I was bent backwards and being caught in the undertow and scraping the bottom as I went under. The next thing I remember, I'm up on the shore. At the break of the waves. There's no way my body could have gotten that far unless it was dragged or put there, because it was way past the breakers. The waves were still hitting where my head was, coming up my body and going back down, but it wasn't enough to carry my weight and put me that far up. Do you see what I mean? It's just physically impossible. There was nobody near me or any footprints. And I saw myself, but I didn't go through the tunnel and have the discussions. But I definitely heard, I don't want to say music, and it wasn't really singing, but it was definitely a tune. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard. When you go trip into that other side, everything is different. Sounds are different. Color is more vibrant. Everything is, it's hard to describe, isn't it?
I probably wrote 4 or 5 chapters worth on trying to describe what my consumption of everything around me was. Just describing being able to see, like this monitor and a camera in front of me, and then seeing everything around it and being able to see it and consume it and digest everything in perfect clarity at the same time. And be able to see this timeline and another timeline at another place, and 3 or 4. I've got to the point where when I'm writing my near-death experience, I'm in this zone, which I pray right before I start writing. I get into the zone, and all of a sudden I start seeing one timeline, and another one pops up, and it's like I'm looking at 4 or 5 timelines happening at the same time, and I get a sense of what's happening. But if I pay attention to the others kind of fade away, and then it's sort of like a dog and a squirrel. Oh, squirrel! Let's go over this way. That's the hard part about me writing is that squirrel sensation. It's like, okay,
yeah, that's the greatest way to put it. I know exactly what you mean, and when you're writing it too, Shawn, it's like you taste every word. I know that's a weird way to put it, but it's just you're looking at it in so many different ways. Almost each word, each phrase, because you're trying to take the reader there. You're trying to be 100% honest and not fill in the blanks. You know what I mean? But you're trying to describe it to them as if they were there, and at the same time, you're trying to find words that describe what you're feeling and what you're thinking, and it's near impossible.
Oh yeah. Well, there's times I'll be writing, and all of a sudden I am drenched in tears because of the stuff that I'm writing about, and I'm like, well, why am I crying? I already know what this is all about, but I'm so in depth, so ingrained, so in that moment. But holy cow! The one thing is. I had such a problem the first few weeks, and my friend Julie, I was talking to her, and she's had several near-death experiences, and she said, "Shawn, you just have to ditch the rules. Write without rules. If it comes to you, write it as best you can." And then I got to the point where, how do you describe what you're seeing in words? I'm not a poet, and can't do that whatsoever. And she said, "You said you can sketch." Yeah, it's been a hot minute since I sketched. Last time I sketched anything that looked halfway decent was back in my high school days. Well, turns out I still got that skill. I sketched a face twice, and the first one's kind of sort of kind of. I actually argued with God for 8 people to come back and say, "Hey, I've got to do this for this person, this person, this person," and there was an 8th person that I've never been able to identify yet. I know all the names of the other ones. Absolutely know them. The 8th person has been grayed out to me for the past 2 or 3 weeks. I saw all the 8 people together in this dream. Got up and I was like, well, I got to sketch this out, and started sketching this out. It drove me insane. I'm like, I don't know who this person is. And my friend, let's see, Julie and Danielle Borzan and a couple other people, I told them about the dream and showed them the sketch. And I had no clue if it was male or female or whatever, if it was somebody that was in a distant future or distant past or what have you. And every one of them come back to this female. I was like, oh shit. I've got 2 males so far in this whole, oh no, 3 males, excuse me, 3 males. And I was like, why can't it just round it out and then be 4 and 4? And there's another female.
Yeah.
So anyway, here I am, and then I wake up, and all of a sudden, boom! I've got this, and I wake up. I'm sitting there just typing out something about an old memory from my near-death experience. I reviewed something in my near-death experience about an old time in my life, and all of a sudden, this face pops up in front of me, saying, "Hey, I'm here. This is what I look like." And for about 3 or 4 days, it just drove me insane. And the first time I sketched it, I was like, okay, well, kind of look like her. Second time I sketched it, I was like, that's too damn close. I can't share that out. So if this actually person does exist, I don't want to embarrass her or, weird her the hell out. But here's the cool thing. 4 of the 8 people, that I argued with, I've told. And guess what their reaction was? All 4 of them.
They knew it, or they were expecting you?
The last one I told Autumn, I thought they'd wig out and say, Shawn, you're crazier than son of a bitch. Period. Now, that's what I expected. And when, the last one I told, I expected that. And nope. It was like, okay, great. Okay, what's my message? And I was like, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing of it is I've been telling this story for near-death experience for like 6 years now, give or take.
Oh.
4 of it on air doing these podcasts and whatnot. And I thought I knew enough to fill an entire Encyclopedia Britannica 2 or 3 times over. Now I could put all that in a little thimble and compare to what I have remembered since I started writing. Why that phenomenon has occurred, I don't know.
I don't know, but what I'm getting right now, and it's for you, I don't know if it's going to mean anything to you. It means something to me. When I heard it, I just smiled and I went, yep, I get it.
Okay, what is it?
Field of Dreams. Field of Dreams. Now, you do with that what you want, but if you think about that movie, when they were saying it, this is what they showed me.
Okay, Cisco.
Kevin Costner.
All right, here you go.
Kevin Costner's going around thinking he's going towards this one guy for one reason, but it turns out he's after this, and then to get to this next one. Do you see where I'm going?
Okay.
They're telling me Field of Dreams and to tell you that.
Okay. Here's why that makes sense to me. Okay. And several recurring dreams I've had over my entire life. I've had like 2, 3. 2 of them had to do with a field. One of them actually specifically, and this has to do with this freaking picture I've been draw twice, and I actually got hit with something today, and I was like, do I draw or do I write about it? But my early 20s, I had this weird ass dream of me in this field laying and waking up, and an older version of myself is looking down at me.
Uh-oh.
And I had a conversation with my older self. Here's the weird thing: I was limping, and my older self was limping in this dream. And I've had it like 2 or 3 times. I had another dream about this 8th person, and this 8th person was in this same field. I don't know why it is that it has to have every one of them that means something to me has a willow tree in it. This one had a willow tree, and this person was next to this willow tree. I had no clue who the hell it was. Didn't know it was male or female. That was one of the dreams that kind of smacked me in the face. Hey, I'm here. I'm looking for you. Here's the other thing. One of my angels, the angel that I met in heaven, which I referenced as, it's not his name. I referenced as Bob because at the first I know who the angel is now, but Bob, I was praying to God and said, well, who is this? Why do I need to do this? And all of a sudden, Bob steps in and says, stop looking for her. Stop looking for her. Stop looking for her. Yep. She will come to you. Mm-hmm. I heard that as plain as day 3 times in a row. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She will come to you. She's been She's been watching you from afar, but she will come to you and say, I am this person. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. And the nagging after I got, I already drew this person twice, and the nagging at me to try to hunt for this person kind of went away. I was like, all right, cool. Every once in a while I'll get this sensation like, all right, whoever this is, I'm here. Actually, I was writing about
when you least expect it. When you least expect it, just like looking for a lost item, it's going to turn up. And they're also, like I said, I don't know if the field makes a lot of sense to me, but I'm getting my big reference on in so many different things is the 5 people you meet in heaven. Have you seen the movie or read the book?
No, I have not.
Okay, the 5 people you meet in heaven.
Okay.
And the book is fantastic. The movie is actually very good. John Voight plays the lead, and the premise basically is, I believe what they're trying to portray is, as we go through life, we meet people that have a significance in our lives, either turn us and have us go in another direction, or just some kind of significance. And if you wrote down the 5 people you thought had the largest significance on your life, what you actually met, the 5 people you meet in heaven, is going to be totally different, because your life changes on a dime, your decisions, your thought process, how you look at things. And people that you meet for a brief moment in your lifetime could have make all the difference in the world. And I think that's a lot with Field of Dreams too, has a little bit of that in there, and also integrity and honor, and what like so many ghost stories that we hear, the unrest is caused by being accused of something they didn't do, or something along those lines. We keep saying unfinished business, but that's such a broad brush, and I think it has a lot to do with our lifetimes too, and the people that we're supposed to touch, and we're given those moments, like you were given those to come back and given, those moments to yourself and other people, because anything we do for them, we do for us too, like a hug, it goes both ways,
Oh yeah.
So that kind of thing. And I think you need to watch that movie or read the book.
Yeah, I've got it.
I think you're going to get something from it that's going to help you on your path, the next part of this journey.
Well, every day for the rest of my life, I can foresee me, unless I'm just incapacitated and I can't write, I will be writing or sketching or both.
Okay. Yeah.
That's a strange thing.
And doing this, Shawn, this is so important. And before I forget again, I want to say thank you for all the kind words that I've heard you say. And it does my heart so good to hear that, if I do a show, my own little self, whatever goofy stuff I put together to try to help make a point or try to clear up a question about, something I might understand a little bit, a little bit more, where I can at least put the idea out there and ask everybody, what do you think about that? Does that resonate with you, or do you think something else? We can, put those stories out all the time. That's all we do is this is what happened to me. This is my story. What happened to you? What's your story? And we're sharing those, and we've been doing that for so long. And that's my whole point with bringing back a lot of these older shows, because I'm like, look, guys, we're looking for these answers. They were looking for the same answers. They had the same questions we do 50 years ago, 60 years ago, 80 years ago, whatever. I mean, look at the wonderful stuff pulling up Harry Price.
Right.
In 1938. I put that thing up there where he took us on a little tour in his laboratory, and he's out there. He was at the Borley Mansion for 6 months. I mean, that's like the ultimate, paranormal investigation, right? He's in there for 6 months. He's got college kids coming in and trying to help him with science and experiments and ideas and thoughts. And it's just an amazing thing. And it's so funny that here we are in, 2022, and we flick on the TV and there's like 15 different shows and all this different gadgets and stuff. We're still doing the same thing. He had plenty of gadgets. You should have seen some of the stuff Harry Price had, and Peter Underwood, and some of these early ghost hunters.
They do these little mini documentaries, and they go through this whole pomp and circumstance of trying to explain to you why they have this this little device that they made with their own little hands. And I'm like, okay, you got a SB7 and all these other little gadgets that makes all these crazy noises, which and the word random word machines that they pop out. I'm not sold on them at all, but the thing of it is I would rather have an old cassette tape player that records, or get one of those little digital recorders and then go out and do that kind of deal. Versus now, I know a lot of people put a lot of faith or a lot of energy and stuff into that kind of stuff. I'm not exactly sold on doing that personally. It's like popping out. What's the difference between that and pulling out a Ouija board? Which I wouldn't touch a Ouija board. If somebody gave me $1,000, I wouldn't do that.
Well, see, I do. I think there is a difference, and maybe not a difference. The way I look at it, and I got a lot of talks with Steve about this too. It's not that I'm against any part of equipment, from dowsing rods and pendulums to tarot cards to Ouija boards to flare cameras, equipment, you name it. Bring it all if that's what you want to do. Because the thing is the guy that just started taking Polaroid pictures and found out that he had a ghost in the house that could actually write on the Polaroid pictures and answer questions, right? And you probably remember this from, I think it was Unsolved Mysteries or something back in the day.
I remember.
Anyway, it was on several of them, yeah. Well, those guys right there that were involved with that ghost or entity, whatever it was, putting the messages, friendly, happened over years. Nothing bad ever came from it that I know of. Other than ridicule from people who didn't believe, right? But other than that, I think everything was cool. Those two gentlemen and anybody that got involved with them got that buzz we were talking about at the beginning of the conversation, that, oh my gosh, this means that there's more, that energy does go on, that life goes on, that there's an afterlife. However they played it in their head, it intrigued them and invigorated their lives. And I think it invigorated the death, if that's the way you want to put it, of the ghost, because now he's got somebody listening to him, answering questions. He didn't have anything big to say. He was just like, yep, I'm here. I'm fine. I think they found out that he used to live there on the property or whatever the story was. But I think there's the same thing for the kid with the EMF meter, and the same thing for the group that goes out and gets something on their cameras or whatever it may be. It's that same spark, Shawn. And I think you and I it's not that we don't like the equipment or we're against it, or I personally don't understand a lot of it, so I can't reverse engineer it in my head to say, okay, this is really happening. Like, all right, here's an example: the flashlight on and off. I can't tell you how many videos there are on YouTube that says flashlight debunked. This debunk. You can do this with magnets. You can do it with this. Okay, hold on. You can't do it with the flashlight that I have, that I brought, that I put the batteries in, that I put it down on the ground, the ground, nothing underneath of it, like a basement where somebody could be running a magnet or whatever other thing. I put it on the ground. I asked the questions, and it answered me in real time, over and over and over and over again. At the same time, with dowsing rods, at the same time the EMF meter was going up and down. That, to me, cannot be debunked. I can't prove it to anybody who wasn't there, didn't see it.
Yeah,
but I don't need to prove it. But I don't need to prove it happened to me. So
Right.
I'm saying these things happen, and I think people that don't want to believe will always be able to debunk it. And people, it's like that old saying, oh, how does it go? You know, for people who disbelieve, no explanation will suffice. For people who don't believe, no explanation is necessary.
True.
Right? I
True.
think it's the same thing with the equipment. That's why you and I are comfortable with dowsing rods. Something we understand.
Oh yeah. Well,
you know,
hell, 5 years old, I'm seeing this old fella with these two pieces of bent wire, you know, walking a little bitty pattern in a backyard, and then he takes the heel of his it wasn't his boot, it was actually a pair of patent leather shoes, and scrapes the X right there and says, drill right here, you'll find water. And by God, there it is. You're like, oh,
there it is. Yeah. And when you're standing there, you know, and thanks, Lindsay. I love you, Greg. It's just that all of that is happening at once, you know, and the people that are around me when it was all done were walking away. And among other things that were said, one of the things, you know, those quiet things where you're walking next to somebody and somebody just turns their head and says something. So somebody did that and said, I just saw more in 25 minutes than I've seen in 25 years on paranormal.
Oh my, yeah, that's crazy.
And I said, you're not wrong, man. You're not wrong. You know. but that's just it. You know, it was the time. They were ready to listen. They knew what they were doing. I didn't have to explain any of that. You know why? Because they see people coming at them with this equipment every hour, on the hour, Monday through Saturday, and twice on Sunday. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because they keep coming. They just don't want to talk to them. They're arrogant, or they don't like the way they're dressed, or they're asking impertinent questions, or they're yelling at them, or, you know, just imagine going to somebody's house and, you know, kicking open the door and going, talk to me, bang on the wall. You know, what are you doing?
I don't get why do people do that? They go out there and challenge these spirits if they think there's spirits out there. Why in the world will they sit there and cuss at them and say, come do whatever? Why the hell would they do that? One, you know, are they a skeptic and just saying I'm doing it because I'm skeptic? Or two, I think I got a little something that's a little bit more powerful than whatever your demonic ass has got. Oh,
yeah, man, I don't get that. I mean, I try to warn people, you know, and I say, look, you know, like I've gotten a lot. This is a popular one I've gotten a lot on. And now I don't ever say I don't believe in Ouija boards. I don't ever say that I wouldn't touch one, because that would be, I don't know what I'll do. You know what I mean? I can't say never. And I have used them in the past, but there's a story in my book that actually tells you the first time I tried to use one, the darn planchette flew across the room, went down to across the yard, went into the pool, and went down to the deep end of the pool, pushed down there. So I was like, whoa, I won't be doing that. But, I mean, that's an actual story. Now, the thing about it is I think it's your intent, your protection, what you're dealing with. There's so many factors here. It's not one thing. It's not cut and dry. And you have to know what you're doing and be able to have the knowledge of knowing where to get the power, not have the power, get the power to deal with what you're dealing with. Because I'll tell you, there's not a lot of higher ascended souls floating around waiting for teenagers to get a hold of a Ouija board. It's usually lower vibrational, earthbound spirits, that'll jump in there, or stuff that's around you all the time anyway. You're just giving it a way to talk to you, So the number one thing I get is, I've used a Ouija board and nothing's ever happened. Okay, that's fantastic. How do you know? Because the things you're dealing with may be ancient, honey. You know what I mean? And they got all the time in the world. It's like that movie Fallen. Time is on my side. You know what I mean? They got all the time in the world. And they might not hit you. They might get your brother who's going through depression. They might get your neighbor next door. They might get somebody you care about. It might be something where it's just a slow burn, where they really just want to see how much they can mess up along the way. You don't know what its intent or what it wants, And a lot of this I'm hearing coming back from me from this end of it, if I'm asked to help or assist in the situation, where it's actually a bloodline curse that people did this generations ago and it's still going on. So you can't tell me that you did this and nothing happened. You may not have seen it. Maybe nothing did. Who knows? But that just because you don't see it happen right then and there doesn't mean it's not going to, or it isn't via that to somebody else. So you just got to think about those things. It's a responsibility. It's like getting in a car and driving. We do it without thinking. But it's quite honestly, can be a very dangerous thing. I mean, you've got a 2,000-pound vehicle or more, capable of going high speeds in any direction you put it in. And that's the Ouija board. And that's also going down and kicking in the door of a cellar or something else and going, who's in here? I'm challenging you to take you. Okay. And I've seen many a strong person come back and go to friends of mine and been involved in getting a lot of stuff off of people because they did that. Or, like I said, somebody else did it and it just, it's right now attached to you.
Right.
So that's the thing. You can't tell me I've used Ouija boards all my life and nothing's happened. And know it, because you don't know it. I don't know that it did. You don't know that it didn't. It's just an unseen world sometimes. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. It's like arguing with, science doesn't prove that. Okay, well, why did you use the word science? Do you know the science behind what you just said? That kind of deal.
Yeah, true. True.
The other thing is, same thing with, like, if I say, hey, I had a near-death experience. I have not a smidgen proof that I had near-death. I can hold up my left stump and show you, hey, I had to have amputation. But I was in a coma for almost 9 days, and a hell of a lot happened in that 9 days. But, other than me saying, hey, I had this extraordinary thing. Now, I've had some other people that I have cooperated with. A lady near and dear to me by the name of Shawn, which we were dating right before all this near-death experience stuff happened. I pushed her out of my life because I was a raging alcoholic. Hit it for about a year or whatever. And I pushed her out of my life, and I pushed everybody out of my life. Said, you don't need to be around me. And that was it. I remember in that near-death experience, when I started writing my experience, it popped back in my head. I saw her. She was in a truck praying to God about me, saying, please, God, please let Shawn live. And I contacted her probably 96 or 95 days ago. And the reason why is because I contacted her like on the day after, then she contacted me the day after that. So, and today was the 97th day that I have been writing. So 94 days ago. And I said, hey, did this occur? She said, yes, it did occur. How'd you know that? I said, well, I saw you.
That's beautiful, man.
And
that's beautiful. Because see, that's it. That's like that scene, Shawn, in It's a Wonderful Life. You know what I'm saying? Where you could hear all the people praying for George Bailey. Please save George. He's such a nice guy, Lord. And all those prayers. that's the memory I got when I was walking in, probably second day, I want to say. My son was in ICU,
Mm-hmm.
and I was, almost 2,000 miles from my home and family. And my niece got in a car and drove out there and brought my older son and drove all the way out there just to be there. And I waited and waited and waited, and I knew I was waiting for them, but it was something different. And as soon as she got off the elevator, it hit me. And my spirit guides talked to me and said, walk with her and take all the energy. And I understood. And I walked in that room and I grabbed her hand and I said, we're going to take all the energy said in his name and we're going to put it right on his chi, right on his center.
Mm-hmm.
And she just shook her head and I said, just follow me. And she smiled. She says, I'm with you. And that's all you need is agreement. We walked in. He went from having a 15% chance. Now, doctors don't tell you everything, but he told me this. 15% chance. The next morning, the doc comes in to check him. I don't believe this. He's looking at this. He's looking at things. He's looking at the charts. He's looking at me. He's looking at the nurse. He's saying all these things. He's saying some stuff to her, and I'm like, but it was a happy energy. It wasn't a. He was motivated, but it wasn't in a danger kind of way. So I was like, what is it, man? What is it? And he's like, hang on a minute. And he's like, look, because this is amazing. I said, what? And he came and thought enough to tell me later after he went outside and talked to the nurses and everything, did some charts. He goes, no, he's doing good. He's doing good. This is good. I'm like, okay, that's all I needed to know. He comes back and he tells me, he went from yesterday. We didn't have a lot of hope. I mean, we always have hope, but there was this and this. So yeah, well, what are you trying to tell me? He goes, he went up to an 85 to 90%.
Wow.
Overnight. And I almost hit my knees. I mean, I had to grab onto his white coat, man, and I was going down. I thought I was going to faint, and I don't faint. And he said, I don't know if it's you being here and it's just he's hearing a friendly voice, or if, we've really not given him changed his meds much. It's just, healing and, with the kind of damage he has. He says that, brain injuries and stuff are strange sometimes. It's an amazing thing. And he's just saying these bumper sticker statements to me. And the whole time I'm like going down and I'm like, I know what it was. It's all the love. It's all the love said in his name, his energy.
Right.
That did it. And us believing enough to do the act, to have the intent to make it happen, made it so. And everybody has that. But it was the combination of love. And on that note, Shawn, I have to say from my heart, I have heard a lot of people pray. I have heard, honey, I went to a Pentecostal church in downtown Alabama. And that right there lifts you off your chair. I've heard some, some good Southern preaching. But my friend, your prayers are to the heart every single time. I absolutely love them. Please keep doing them. In fact, I love them so much. I would love for you to record me the out prayer that you do from your heart to cleanse the air, to cleanse the listeners, everything else in your way. And I would love to play that on my outro and all my shows.
If that's what you want, I'll do it.
I'd love that, because it does clear the air. It's just like when we were talking about understanding how to open a portal, close a portal, open a door, close a door. And a lot of people don't do that when they're doing equipment and investigations. I know most of the people here, I recognize all these beautiful names here. And I know there's a lot of paranormal investigators here that know that and do that. Everybody's got their own little procedure that they do. But it's so important to cleanse everything when you're on electronics, because things do pass back and forth, and I would absolutely love that. Take your time, do it your way. Don't do anything special for me. I like it just the way it is. Okay.
Oh, if you hear a particular prayer that you felt something in it, just take it off of one of my streams. I don't care, or I will record it. No big deal. That's fine. I have no problems with it. I will. Well, why not? I will do it for you, without doubt.
I would love to. I would love to put that at the end of my outro, just to, cleanse just put it out there, cleanse the air and everything else. I think it's just so beautiful. And most of the time I hear stuff like that when we're doing a case, or, and you're always with somebody different, and somebody feels the energy to step forward and do something like that. And it's usually of the moment. And it's just the most beautiful stuff. There's so much power in words. And when they're used correctly, and when they're used in kindness and out of love, they can be the most healing things. And quite the opposite is true as well. I don't understand, words can be so, mean and hateful and do things. I mean, just imagine how powerful the spoken word is. We were talking earlier about fragilities and things like that. And and think about how important it is the whole time we're here on this side in life. And we have so many things we want to say to people, or so many, things we wish we had gone back and said. And then we've got earth, spirits that pass on, and doing whatever the wonderful things that they're doing over there. Let's hope they're doing wonderful things, but still feel the need to come back and say a few more words to loved ones.
Words
There's
have
that much power.
Yeah, words have power. Words, you can speak stuff
It's
into
amazing.
existence. That's I'm not going to say crazy. That is the truth of it. Whatever intent you have behind those words, I could say, hey, Cisco, I know you're hurting. Let me say a little prayer to see if I can alleviate that. The strange and the wonderful thing that I have noticed, that if I'll say a prayer for somebody that I care for, I can feel, and say, hey, let me do a little something for you. Can I have your permission to say a prayer for you? And sometimes I can, I'm not saying it's all God. I'm not saying it's me. It's all God saying, hey, I hear his prayer, and you're in accordance to it, two or more gathered. But that, helps out that person. So I can't say
it truly does. And we got to remember that when we're talking to ourselves too, because, a lot of times we'll go on tangents and say, I'm so stupid, or I do terrible things like that. Try not to put yourself down. Try to say maybe just something differently. Maybe mean the same thing, but say it differently. Like, well, you're crazy when you do that. I shouldn't have done that. I know how to do that. Gosh, you're nuts. And make it a funny thing. Where you're laughing it off instead of depressing yourself and putting those like self curses on yourself. Like we say on the show all the time, you cannot tell me that I can is a motivational phrase, and I can't isn't a self curse. Because you're cursing yourself before you ever try. I can't do it. If that's not true, The Little Train That Could wouldn't have been such a popular book back in the day. You see what I'm saying?
True.
So we think about what we say to ourselves too, right?
Right.
And I think saying things to other, about the dead, I think that comes from that origin, don't speak ill of the dead. I think there's twofold on that. It's, first of all, it's rude, and you shouldn't, speak ill of somebody who's not here to stick up for themselves, I guess, that makes sense. But I think it's also because you can tether them to you, and you can tether yourself to them. So we kind of have to stop. If you're really glad that somebody's no longer around, you might want to just give them the best and move along, because it's the best for you too. Absolutely. If that makes sense. If I didn't say anything else important tonight, it's that.
Absolutely. That's more. That means more than anything else you said tonight. So yeah, I 1000% agree with you on that one.
I love you, baby. You're gonna have to come on the show. I really want you to come on, pick a subject, and let's talk about it. I want it. Since you like looking at the old stuff, I would love to. Pull up some and watch it with you and get your commentary on it as well. It's so much fun, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I love your show. It's just one of those things. Oh, man, this just brings me back to sitting in front of the old RCA floor model TV and saying, hey, that's kind of cool. Holy cow! What is
So
that
neat.
Bigfoot on that screen? You know, the old Leonard Nimoy stuff. It just absolutely.
Oh, I love him.
It's a tiptoe through my
Gosh.
memory from the early 70s. Absolutely.
It's so much. I get absolute goosebumps. I get so excited when I get, making those videos. It takes so much time. You wouldn't believe how much time it takes, but it does.
Oh yeah.
But I get excited. It's like, I absolutely love my chat and I love my gatekeepers and I love my listeners so much that I'm just like, oh my gosh, I finally get to share this with somebody. This is a story that I saw back, when I was like 10 years old, and I never forgot it. And here it is. Let's watch it together. It's just nothing better. It's like having, a great big living room or a theater or something, sitting watching the thing with your 100 of your best friends, and then getting to talk about it afterwards. We've got great gigs, Shawn, and I love your show and I love you, and I want to get you to come on. And I absolutely am serious about putting the prayer at the end. The first time I heard it, I got the idea. I've just been neglectful in talking to you about it.
Well, that's all right. Anytime you want me, next week or following week or whatever you want to do, I'm open for it. Hell, I'm in your chat anyway, so why not be on part of it? So I'm right there.
Maybe we can. Maybe
if you just want to add, if you just want to ad lib one night, we can do that. All right.
We'll have a ball. Have a ball. Oh, I would love to watch them because I know you enjoy it. So I'm going to pull up a couple old ghost stories. We'll do a couple clips, and then we'll sit there and we'll visit about it. How about?
That sounds great.
Bring popcorn and your beverage of your choice. You have to bring your own refreshments, but I'll make you laugh a couple times.
I'm gonna try to bring some bacon. I think that's my thing.
Oh, bring bacon.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, we have good eats over at the show. Bacon, caramel popcorn, and Mrs. McGee's apple pie moonshine.
Oh my god! Well, I can't do any of that firewater stuff. But
I understand. You can have the apple cider version.
Okay,
it's real good with cinnamon sticks and an apple slice, and you'll enjoy it. I do nice with brown sugar on the rim. It's so good. You'd enjoy it.
Well, Cisco, I appreciate you. This has actually been.
You, man.
I love you too. This has been a treat and a half. Absolutely.
Oh my! It's the pleasure's all mine, darling. You get back to your show, and thank you to the chat for letting me talk to y'all. I appreciate you so much, and all my gatekeepers in here. Give Shawn a thumbs up, man. And this is a great show, and I'm glad you're getting a write up on you. You deserve it, sweetheart. Have a good night, everybody. Be kind to each other.
God bless you. I'll talk to you later. All right, there's old Cisco. Holy cow, that was a hell of a conversation, without a doubt. Oh my God. All right. Well, we've got a few. Well, let's see. Why not? 931-994-6917. If you want to be a part of the show, call in. Now, there's a handful of people I have told never to call me again, and that still sticks. So there you go. The other thing is, let's see, Junior, about Greg. I think his publicist handles all that arrangement. I don't know if he gave that number to his publicist or not. I don't know. There, Junior. But that was interesting. Thanks for calling me that night anyway, buddy. Appreciate it. Yeah, that was awesome. Absolutely. And I got to make a note to record that for Cisco, that prayer. That's wild. I've had some people ask me to pray for them, and I have no problems praying for it, but make a recording of a prayer that why not? I think that's a blessing, but yeah, that's interesting. So, all right. Looks like Tortured Soul's wanting to call in, so that's great. If you want to call in Tortured Soul, I'll wait a few minutes. But there you go. Gas prices. Oh my God. Well, I don't drive anymore, so gas is not doesn't affect me as it does to everybody that goes to the gas station every few days. But hell, have you seen how much crap has gone up lately? So anyway, who's in the chat? We still have Stimulate. Hey, buddy, what's going on, brother? Patricia. That's interesting. Catalyst. I would love to hear from Callis from Florida again. Holy cow. Thank you for reminding me. I've got to actually call that little lady. I meant to call her. I will try to do that tomorrow. I've got a couple of things I might have to run out and do a couple adulting things. How's that? So I don't know yet. We'll see. Other than that, yeah, I'll try to get a hold of Callist tomorrow. Callist, if you're listening to me, I'm going to try to call you. So, anybody remember those old RCA? What was it? 20 inch, 18 inch, 6, however big those color screen TVs were, floor model deals, Magnavox, Canada's $8.15 a gallon. Wait a minute, they sell that in liters, so you're converting that over to gallons. I can honestly tell you that's just ridiculous. I mean, you Canadians are. Now, if you want to, without a doubt, Canada is without a doubt the most overlooked place for the strange, paranormal, UFO, you name it. Canada from coast to coast. Some strange goes on up there for sure. If you like this kind of content, whatever, put in your Google search engine and say paranormal this or that in Canada and see what pops up. Destiny, hey, I hadn't seen you in a hot minute. What's been going on with you, ma'am? Let's see. She says, "Oh, the prices hurt here in the rural South. In my area, 30-minute drive is considered a casual daily store trip." Yeah, that's true. That's true. And then Rothian says, "I'm only 30, but my first ever TV had 3 dials. One for power, the volume, one for channels. I've never messed with the third dial." Well, there's UHF and VHF channels. You had these little clickers, and freaking things was, my parents used the kids as remote control. Hey, Shawn, or hey, Robin, or my late brother Travis. Hey, Travis Turnerton. Whoever the kid was that was the closest to the TV was the remote control for the parents, using my dad. But yeah, that brings back some old memories. Holy cow. That was back in the day. Around here, there was a cable company that only, provided service within the town limits around here. But you had to get your, everything off your air antenna. And I remember Dad stringing that damn thing up, and I was helping him, and had a good half mile of cable running from this big antenna up side of a mountain. It took all freaking day. Great show, Shawn. Had a 13-inch black and white, Sandra says. Yeah, I had one of these little bitty fellows, about 5 inches. Had a AM FM radio on it, a tuner kind of deal. Loved that little thing. Ran on D batteries, about 9 of them, I think. I have to look that up. I wonder where that thing's long gone in the trash somewhere. That was cool. That was back when Transformers was on TV. You remember that? Journey Through the Gate Paranormal. There's old Cisco. Yes, thank you, Cisco, for being a part of the show, calling in. All I can tell you is you have been a blessing. And if you have not followed her, she does a great production over there. She's on one-on-one with the chat. She's one-on-one with the people that are brought on every Monday. I think usually she does a little thing with Steve Stockton. Great guy. Love him to death. He's one of those guys, if I start talking to him, is like he reminds me of 3 stories and back and forth. And we kind of grew up in the same area, Northeast Tennessee. Well, I didn't grow up in Northeast Tennessee. I grew up in Southwest Virginia on the border of Kentucky and Tennessee. But I lived my almost my entire adult life over Northeast Tennessee, where he hails from. So, when we talk about this, Northeast Tennessee, Johnson City, Mountain City, that kind of stuff, we know exactly where that stuff is. The old Spearfinger story comes from Lee County, Virginia. And I worked in Lee County, Virginia as a respiratory therapist years ago. That was your family TV, old black and white, Sandra says. Oh, my. I remember my great-granddad, Graham. He had old black and white TV. Lived across from the football field where I went to high school at. And I remember as a little boy going in there, and he had this old wind-up clock, and that damn thing was so loud you'd hear it tick, 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 tick. Oh, my. Yeah, I don't know why that popped in my head. Lady J, what's going on, Lady J? But, yeah, talking to Cisco was just way out there. I lived in Kingsport, Tennessee, there for the longest time. Worked in Johnson City at the Johnson City Med Center. I can tell you how many times I've been up there. Good old Carter County. Carter County. Yeah, Johnson City's county neighboring mine. Good old Carter County, yeah. Hawkins County, Carter County, Sullivan County, all those counties over there. That was my bread and butter. And sleep labs I was over strung across, some in Northeast Tennessee and some in Southwest Virginia, up in Smith County kind of deal. I was all over this place. There would be times that I would have so much dashboard time that half of my day was spent driving to locale to go and inspect or have a freaking meeting, or wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to make an 8 o'clock meeting the following morning. Whew, boy, those were coffee days, I'll tell you. Those were some crazy coffee days. But yeah, there you go. And I think we may be having a caller here in a little bit. I think, let's see. Who was it? That was. Give me just a second. I'm looking up the name. I know the person. Tortured Soul. Yeah, there we go. I know the person's first name. I just didn't want to use it on air because she never gave me permission to use her first name on air. Kingsport. I don't know why. I just haven't renamed the whole thing Eastman yet. I'll tell you, Destiny. Every time that certain times of the year, not certain times of the week, if the wind will blow back from Eastman toward me, you would smell that ungodly chemical smell. Turns out that was that fingernail polish remover. What is that? Crap. I forgot what it was. They use that by the thousands of gallons per day. Solvent. I can't remember what the name of it is right off the top of my head. But that was the smell. And I took care. I'd done so many conversations with. I actually met the guy that held the patent. I can't remember the guy's name for super glue. Way back when. That's the weird thing. And the plastic with the BPA stuff, Eastman had the formula for that particular piece of plastic, formula without the BPA in it. For years and shelved it, said it was too expensive. They wouldn't, dare, make that. The market wasn't there. So think about that, folks. They don't give a rat's ass about us poisoning us or anything like that. That is the strangest thing. Acetone. Yes, there you go. Acetone. Thank you, Grey Wolf Paranormal Lindsay. That was it, acetone. And the smell all over Kingsport, Tennessee, especially if you're driving by Eastman, that's all you smell. Acetone. Oh my God. And then there was a couple medical centers. The one I frequented was right next to a cattle yard. And that cattle yard, would waft into that medical center parking lot. You're like, why do I smell like cow manure, which is cow manure right next to it? And then you get the acetone smell from Eastman. Yeah, that was a strange combination. Stockyard Cafe. If you've Destiny ever heard of that place, I don't know if they still have that cafe there. Best damn burgers that you ever want to lay your teeth into. Stockyard Cafe in Kingsport, Tennessee. Love it. And if you go in there, it was just looked like Mel's Diner, but smaller. A hell of a lot smaller. All it was counter space around the serving area with stools around it. I think there was probably like a dozen stools. But that's that's an old time. I can remember walking across into Stockyard Cafe to go for lunch, and they actually had something there in Stockyard Cafe that I remember from my youth: mashed potatoes and gravy with roast beef. And I can remember my granddad, Papa, taking us down to he would go and pay his as he said it was his rotating credit payment for whatever gadget he decided he needed to have, a TV or whatever the heck that was. And he would stop by this little hillbilly fried chicken place, and they'd have this thing in a styrofoam and plastic, and it was mashed potatoes, roast beef, and gravy with a slice of white bread on top of it. And that was the best damn thing I've ever had. The only place I could ever find it was at that Stockyard Cafe. It was like a trip back, taste buds and all those memories of riding an old car. And go pay that rotating credit payment, as my papa used to say. I don't know why in the hell he called it out, but it's something to talk about, I guess. All right. Yeah, Torture Soul, you can call in anytime you want to. She and I have had a couple, 3 or 4 conversations offline, and how do I call? Just call in Torture Soul on the Skype. I can call you. How's that? You want me to call you? I'll call you. Give me just a second. Where are you? There you are. See if this goes. No, that's the wrong button there. Trying to call Torture Soul now. See if she'll answer. It may not be, but we'll get her. Answer your Skype or Torture Soul. There we go. I guess the long distance from here to Scotland is a little bit weird. MacGyver, oh my God. If you could see how I got this thing set up here with all the cables running from here, USB, well, Maria, you're going to have to answer that phone. I mean, Torture Soul. Well, anyway, I'm calling your Skype Torture Soul, but call me back there if you want to call in. Send her a little text message back. There you go. But let's see. Haven't heard it. A lot of Kingsport is run down and abandoned now. Like it literally reminds me of Well, I have been in Kingsport on the normal. Probably getting Kingsport maybe once or twice a year now. Last time I was there over toward, what is that? Seaver's Donuts on that side of town where Eastman is. That part was kind of run down over toward the paper mill. I wonder what name of the paper mill it has now. It used to be Mead, and it was Willamette, and I can't remember the last name. I was over there a couple times doing some medical talks and stuff over there at that paper mill. But there you go. So, yeah, if you want to call in on Skype, there you go, or Torture Soul. But there he is. All right, we'll give her another 10. What is that? Text message. Oh. Speak of the devil, Danielle just text messaged me. What does she have to say? She's wanting to know what the hell am I doing. I'm on a live stream, Danielle. And there you go. Maybe she'll call in. Who knows? We'll see. And now is a debate if that chemical smell is Eastman or another mega meth lab. Well, yeah, Destiny, right there at the end, meth labs were popping up everywhere. And unfortunately, it's that way everywhere, especially over in Southwest Virginia. I don't know what the hell. Well, I know what the hell it's about. It's so freaking addictive. But God help anybody that's on that stuff. Oh, my God. Although that does explain a lot of conversations. Oh, well, Danielle's going to join in and chat here in just a second. So there you go. Yeah. I'll get off that subject real quick. But all right, cool. She's going to join in here in a little bit. I don't know if she's going to call in or she's going to just take a break or whatever, but you never know. 931-994-6917, Tortured Soul. I did try to Skype you. If you want to return that one. I tried to call her. Let me try again. Try her again. See if that works. And then we'll see what's going on. Hopefully she'll answer the phone, or maybe not. I don't know. Think she just got off work. Or that may be. What time? What time is it in Scotland? Is it 5 hours ahead? So it should be about 3. Holy cow! Why are you wanting to be on a show at 3 a.m.? I think it's plus 5 hours over there in Scotland. Oh, making myself a drink, call, and 2 ticks. Well, I guess that would be probably that. Okay. Awesome. Danielle Diva. My sister from another mother. Now, that lady does a lot of work. She does a lot of good. I love her to death. Let's see. Patricia, can I send the pictures to Shawn of the things I've seen? Maybe you would know. Sure. We are 6 hours. Oh, okay. Well, my math is a little off. I never said I was a math genius. So 6 hours ahead. So that'd be 4 o'clock in the freaking morning. What the hell? Well, no, that would 5 o'clock in the morning. It's 11 o'clock here, 6 hours, 5. Okay. Not carry a knot. Jethro Bodine math, just to let you know. Yeah, let's see. Patricia, if you want to send this to me at iamdarkwaters.com, send it through email right there. Just popped it in the chat. And we'll take care of it. However you want to do it. Just leave a note. What is it about those pictures you want whoever to look at or see, or if you want me to show them on air, just give me permission in the chat in the email. But yes, I'd like to share this on air. Could see the hype on crystal meth. Didn't like it. Tried coke once for about 15 years. Ugh. Well, unfortunately, I was out. Well, I guess you would call me an alcoholic, but I'm a reformed alcoholic. How's that? I hadn't touched stuff in 6 years. Last time I touched it was November 17th, 2015. And actually thinking about it makes me queasy at my stomach right now. So I guess that's a good thing. Let's see. Got any email? Let's see if we got any emails here. Got a couple of YouTube comments. And yep, there we go. Got a bunch of YouTube comments. That's cool. I always like those comments. Now, for the folks that have been following my daily community postings, I've been going through 97. Today's the 97th day. I've been writing about my near-death experience. And I can honestly tell you, I ain't even scratched the surface on it yet. Some days I wake up with Cool. Okay, Patricia, go right ahead. I'll wait for that email to pop up and see what's happening. Danielle Diva, glad you're feeling so much better. Yeah, she had a little few moments, a few days of where she wasn't feeling so well. She was under the weather. But yeah. Now, a haunted place, the grocery company, Destiny, there is a place over on near Willem. Well, I won't say Willamette, over near the paper mill factory called the grocery company. I don't know if something's moved in there or not. I actually looked into leasing that place to open a beer garden up there once. Personally, that deal kind of fell through, and I'm kind of glad it did. But yeah, that place was haunted. The fourth floor, I walked into that place when this was way before I had any near death experience. I walked on the fourth floor, and lo and behold, that place had been paranormal out, investigated. I walk up on the fourth floor, you get this creepy feeling somebody's watching you. It's just the realtor, myself, trying to figure out, well, what do we need to do up there? And it was a converted apartment up on, I think, the fourth floor. And that was the wildest place. Loved the look of it. It was already set up the way I needed it. I'm glad the old freaking place fell through. Who knows? The old grocery company. They had a big ass turn of the 19th century safe up there. Weight, I couldn't tell you how many tons, but it was a big one out there in the front voyeur. But beautiful place, beautiful place. Haunted to the hilt. Haunted beer garden, German spelling. Sounds like a great business venture. Yeah, that was. Well, it had 2 bars in it, well, 3 bars in it. One made for the outside, and the first floor, second floor were both set up for, second floor was set up for billiards and bar scene, and then the first floor was like the restaurant kind of deal. Old Banner Elk Hospital, straight up demonic. I have never been in a hospital that didn't have something going on in it. Even the new ones that I walked through that still had the new carpet, new car smell to it. Just open, literally clip the thing on, and that place had crap all over it. But there's an old defunct hospital over in, better not say the name, but there's an old defunct hospital. I had the, the pleasure and I had to go over there for work. Only person in that hospital, I had been in that hospital when it was running, and it was decommissioned and a new green hospital put up, and that's a total fucking waste of money. Anybody that says, hey, let's build a green hospital, I'm telling you, that is just a waste of money. But that old version of the hospital, walked in that place. Oh, wait a minute, Patricia, I just got your email. What is this? Okay. Are you talking about the what is this email by? I got the pictures there, Patricia. So open attachment. Let's open the attachment. All right. And then we'll share it out. Is it okay, Patricia? Seen these an occasion. Well, I'm going to share them. I don't know what they are, but I'm going to share this one. Sort of looks like it may be chemtrails, maybe, I guess. Try her out and see what they are. Is that what you're talking about? that chemtrail looking thing. Try this other one. That's kind of crazy. Are you talking about the reflection in the windshield? I don't know. What is that, Patricia? Well, let's pop this one. This one looks a little bit more interesting. On this side, stop, and then share this other one out. There you go, and that's the other one. There's three of them, but that's probably best of the three, I would think. Let's see, Patricia. Okay, sent them. What's behind this, Patricia? If you want to drop a short little blurb about these pictures. Okay, she says, okay, one to the right, one to the left, and then they meet up together on the left side. I'll be mindful I'm in a cab on my way to work in this airport in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Oh, it's been a hot minute since I've been in Philly. Excuse me. So there you go. And let me pop this in. So there's a whole lot of these. I guess that would be contrails or chemtrails, just depending on who you talk to. Let's go to that second one. There's three pictures. Since she was kind enough to send them, I'll get open. Yeah, that's one I want right there. Yep, right there. And we'll pop this one up. Since she was kind enough to send them, might as well share them. And there you go. And here's this one. That's the third 3 of 3 right there. Is that a chemtrail? Patricia, is that a chemtrail or is that just something that you have been seeing quite a bit? Now, I have taken quite a number of chemtrails over in Kingsport, Tennessee. There was one time I actually said, hey, called my secretary in to look at one, and the whole it was like they had this big freaking grid in the sky from horizon to horizon. And you're like, all right, that's just strange. But there it is. All three of those. And that is courtesy of Patricia just a second. Make sure Patricia Victorious. And apparently these were captured in Philly. So there you go. And we're still waiting on the tortured soul to call in. We'll see how that goes. If she doesn't call in just a few minutes, then we'll say we're done. Or if you want to call in, 931-994-6917. You know, lines are open. Give me a ring-a-ding-ding. Tell me what the weather is outside. It actually was thundering just a minute ago. Or it was. I heard it thunder. Thunder, thunder, thunder. Let's see what the thing says for outside. Hello, live radar, pop up for me. I saw some severe weather over northeast Tennessee, actually. Bonita. Oh no. Let's see. Well, come on. Let's get this thing up so I can see it. I don't know why that app doesn't want to work for itself. But, oh, well, now it's gone. It looks like we'll probably get something here in a little bit, but not for a few more hours. So we're going to take you right now. Crazy. So have you ever seen any chemtrails, folks? That's another thing. What are they spraying out? Why are they spraying out? That's a crazy thing. There's laws. No, I won't go down there. That's too much to get into the last bit of the show. But holy cow. Let's go ahead and go over a couple of things. tomorrow I am going to be with Dylan and Laura over on Creepy Unsolved. I'm going to record an hour-long podcast with them, however that is, about my near-death experience, how we're going to do that, what format we're going to get into. Okay, here we go. Unscreened open lines, you're live on air. What's your name and what you're from?
Hey, Shawn G, Brother Peter from calling from the Valley.
Hey, man, I ain't heard from you in about 2 or 3 shows. What's going on with you?
Oh, praise God, Shawn G. We're doing very well. As always, I'm tuning into the show, the beautiful show that you have.
Yeah.
And I got a good story. If you don't mind me sharing it with you, this is gonna be a true story, but the basis of the story is the power of prayer.
All right, man. Well, give it to me, man. I want to hear
it. Okay. This goes back in 2015, but whenever I'm telling you these stories, like whenever you go back on a broadcast, I always want you to remember about the story when I had my I guess that near-death experience when I was locked down, right? Because that was the foundation of everything that partook after that point was like supernatural experiences. All that stuff partook after this, right? After that encounter. And basically, that experience was letting me know that I was going to be used by God as a prayer warrior, so to speak. You know what I mean? Because right after when I came out of that incarceration, I immediately went into a victory home over here in the Alpine Nevada, over here in the valley of Texas. And that's basically what it was programmed to do. To teach you how to pray, you know what I mean? And when you went into this environment, you saw things like people with demonic possessed, you know what I mean? Like deliverance ministry, so to speak, you know what I mean? And I actually have an encounter something like that happened to me, but outside of the home, outside of that environment, you know. But this actual event that I want to talk to you guys about right now takes back to 2015. Okay, I'm gonna give you the basis so you can understand exactly what's going on. Okay, I have a good friend of mine here in the valley, and he's from Mexico, but he lives here right here in Texas, but he has like a home over there in Mexico with his mom and dad, and he has an uncle, and his uncle stayed over here in Heberville, and Heberville's about in South Texas. About like a few miles or like a good miles away, right? But it's a ranch town, and basically it's a ranch area where it's basically there's nothing out there. You know what I mean? Nothing but wildlife, cattle and all that stuff, horses and all that stuff, right? But the land that this man, this older man, his name is Gonzalo. This older man, the land that he's staying on is owned by a priest. Right, this is where it gets real crazy because this land is owned by a priest, and all he talked was Spanish. But every time we would congregate and go hang out at Junior's house, he would tell stories, like things that would happen there. He would talk in Spanish, but I really didn't understand what he was saying, right? But like supernatural things that he was going through, like for example, he'll be out there and by himself in the truck because remember he's out there in the middle of nowhere, and the truck will start shaking. You know what I mean? Like he's out there by himself, and it's a big truck, and it just starts rocking back and forth, and there's nobody out there, And so he's having all these weird experiences. Well, what happens is later on down the road, his health starts to deteriorate really bad. He has liver issues. He goes to the hospital. He loses his eye. I mean, this guy's health is starting to deteriorate very bad, right? And I'm looking at, I'm seeing all these things happen, right? And then it comes to find out that he had a wife, right? He had a wife, and she was staying over in Mexico, but she was very into the dark arts, very into the black magic type stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
And she was, yeah, she was real into the black magic type stuff, but over there in Mexico, right? And every time she would come over, like to over here to go visit him because he wound up going into a nursing home. I mean, his health was going down so rapidly, you would not believe it. And like when she would like be in my presence, like because remember, Brother Shawn, when I had that encounter, it was like you kind of got baptized in the fire of the Lord. You know what I mean? And so when she would be around me, I would get these bad vibes off of her. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, hey man, this like and I would see the way she would conduct herself, and she would do like a lot of weird things that would let me know like this lady is really evil. And what she was really after was she was basically plotting and scheming for this man to die so she could get the money because he was going to get money or whatever. So she was doing things to him, like I don't know, like exactly what in the physical realm, but spiritually she was like really killing him, And what's crazy, Shawn, is one day I take a trip to Corpus Christi because that's where I'm from. And I go, and when I go over there, I go like that's like my home because I go over there and I go to church and stuff like that, right? And my mom, my dad, and they're real powerful people in the Lord, right? And so when I come back, for some reason, I come back, and then and my dad gave me a hoodie, right? And I had this hoodie that he has on, and for some reason, Shawn, I said, yeah, I'm going to go, and I'm going to pray over this guy. But I'm gonna go in the spirit of God, and I don't know why I said that, right? But I go and I call it. I come back from Corpus, and this is at night. I come back from Corpus, a 2-hour drive. I come back home, and I told my buddy, "Hey, how's Gonzalo doing?" "Oh man, I don't think he's gonna live to be able to see this year." He said this, and this is happening so fast. And I said, "Okay, well, let's go visit him." And he's at the nursing home, right? I said, "Let me go visit him." And he says, "Okay." And so we go over there. I said, "I'm going to pray over this guy." And so, man, I don't think he's going to live, buddy. And I said, "No." I said, "I don't know about that." I said, well, I'm going to pray over him. And so I go over there, right? And the moment I go into the nursing home, Shawn, I put the hood on. I put the hood on, man. Like if I'm going in there like a warrior, right? I go in there and I start walking through the hallway, and some of the nurses are like freaking out because they look like they're like demons or something, They're like like kind of stepping out the way, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going on a mission, right? I'm going to go look for this man, and I'm going to lay hands on him. I'm going to pray over him, right? And so I go over there for him. I look for his room, and I go, and I say, "Gonzalo," and he looks at me, and I said, I tell him, I said, "Who I am?" I said, "Soy Pedro." I said, "I'm going to pray over you." "Está bueno." He said, "Okay." You know what I mean? I asked him, I said, "I'm going to pray." He's okay. And so the moment I touch him, Shawn, I start praying, right? I start praying to our Father, I start praying, right? I'm not going to lie because this guy already had an amputated leg. He had an amputated leg. He was already like, this guy was dying, Shawn. He was dying. And so I touch him and I'm praying. And when I'm praying, I felt his body jump a couple of times, like jump, boom, boom, like jump. And when I felt that, I was like, okay, well, I don't know what it is, Lord, but you're doing it. I said, God, you're doing it, whatever, but I'm praying protection over him. So I'm praying that whatever it is that's on him right now, that it goes back to where it came from because this man is not going to die. And I said, his name is Gonzalo. I said, I have an uncle named Gonzalo that's with the Lord right now. That's like my grandma generation, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I look at it like family, right? And so watch what happens, Shawn. So boom, I leave and I hug him or whatever. And he's crying, oh, and I leave, right? And so I go home. And well, a couple weeks later, Shawn, guess what happens? Guess what happens? A couple weeks later, the lady dies. The lady dies, Shawn. The lady died, man. And like I was crazy because of my buddy. I said, hey, how's Gonzalo doing? And so, hey, buddy, you won't believe it. I said, what? And so his wife died. And I said, what? And he's like, yeah, his wife died. And I said, man, that's crazy. And he's like, yeah. And I said, well, what's crazy about it was all the things that she was trying to, kill him, because this lady was literally trying to kill this guy. She wanted the money that he was going to leave behind or whatever. And not only that, but he also had the priest. The priest would go over there and pray for him too. You know what I mean? So he had two people in his corner praying over him. And what's crazy about it, Shawn, is through the years he got better. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah, he's still in the nursing home, but he his life came back. You know what I mean? And it's so beautiful to see that, Shawn, because that's the power of prayer in the Lord.
Right.
Because he's the one. Yeah, he's the one, Shawn. You know, and like I said, man, these are just little stories, stories of testimony, you know, because the Lord is real and prayer is real. And I want to salute you because you have that platform, and you are doing what you're doing, and your near-death experience and your story is touching a lot of people, Shawn. And I salute you, and I love you like a brother, man. You know.
Oh yeah, brother in Christ, buddy, definitely. All right, well, Peter, I appreciate you calling in, man. It's always a pleasure with your stories. Fantastic.
Hey, man. Well, thank you, Shawn. I love you, brother, and I salute you and Dark Waters and all you everybody out there, man. Listeners, tapping in my prayers over you all. God bless you, and thank you so much, Shawn.
I appreciate you. God bless you, brother. All right.
Okay, bye-bye.
Peter from over in the Valley in California, I believe. There you go. Holy cow. That's interesting. All right. Tortured Soul, I'm still waiting for you to call back. I have tried a couple of times. Let's give her one more go at it. She has an OBE story and a bunch of other paranormal stuff. I have talked to her in chat, and she called in 3 shows ago, something like that, on a Saturday night. Let's see if I can get a hold of her one more time, give her another chance. If she doesn't answer this time, we will see how it goes. I'll play it by ear, even though I can't play by ear. We'll see. But see how this thing goes. My Skype is connecting and it is ringing right now. But how's the show been so far, folks? Now remember to go over to Creepy Unsolved. I think they dropped a link in there. Creepy Unsolved. Please jump over there and see what old Dylan is doing over there, along with Laura. I don't think she's going to answer. Oh, well, that's all right. No big deal. We'll catch up with her a little later. It's 6+ hours ahead. 11 p.m. where I am, so it's probably 5 o'clock in the morning. 5 o'clock in the morning. Well, I'll probably be waking up. That's craziest thing. Craziest thing. This has been one of the greatest shows ever, Donnie Cho says. Well, buddy, I appreciate it. I think Cisco and, of course, Peter, the show's no good without, just me. It is with the folks that call in, sharing their stories. Now, I'll, pull up a couple of things. I'm going to change the format a little bit and start using some stories to lead in, as I go along. Set it up, do a few little things. Make the format a little bit more presentable, a little bit more, give us a little bit to talk about. But we'll see how that goes. Yeah, Big Cole, she is without a doubt one of the best people out there. You can just hear it in her voice. She's genuine as the day is long. Stories for days. I don't know. It's just it's like that little thing. The little dog and the squirrel, and off she goes running. That's probably why her and Steve Stockton get along so well. They probably get along so well that they just sit there and chat, until the sun comes up, I'd say. But I can see that. That's fantastic. All right. 10 more minutes. And I'm done for the night. How long have we been on here? 2 hours, not. Can you believe it? 2 hours. Just like that. I have had so much fun. Cisco's made the night, and Peter, good God, Peter, appreciate you calling in. Power of prayer. All right, here's the thing. Do you guys believe in the power of prayer? Do you believe that prayer works? And if you jump up and say science, there's science behind it. There's science behind the power of prayer. Without a doubt. I couldn't tell you how many case studies, medical case studies, where prayer was applied in double-blind method. Now, if you don't know what that means, you need to go look that up. Look up the power of prayer. Without a doubt. That was actually when I was a department head, right before I got into doing regional stuff. That was actually required reading for the department heads, power of prayer. And it was amazing. I have seen miracles happen. I have seen angels in hospital. Unfortunately, I've seen demons in hospital too, and that's just that's another story for another day. But oh my God, how do I call in on my computer? Go to Skype, download Skype, or why not? Let's see this. Download Skype and look up Chasing Truth 2018, all one alphanumeric mess of letters. Don't know Skype. All right. Hey, be kind. Go over in Discord, and I'll drop you a link in private. There has been some crazy stuff that has happened tonight. And all you have to do is follow a prompt. I'll pop it into your... Or you be kind. I got you. Be kind. Find a conversation with Be Kind. That's what I'm looking for. There she is. And I'll drop the link in the Discord for you. You follow the instructions, you can get on there. Go over to Discord and find out. Yeah, Sue. I love your accent, Sue. Sue is just one. She's won me over. As soon as she said the first word, she had me at hello. Fantastic lady. She's got stories for days again. Just one of those things. But yeah, I've popped the there she is. Yeah. Just follow that link there and share out your whatever you're going to share out. You got to have a microphone to use the StreamYard there. But how's that for fun? And you can do it on your phone too, since I see that. Her accent's, oh, hell yes. Anything other than Southern, I hear Southern all damn day long. And every once in a while, I hear some, nice, sweet Southern accent that's a little tweaker, a little bit more twingy than me. We got Tina MM calling in. We'll get Tina in here for just a second. Hey, Tina, what's going on?
Hi, I would like to share a story today.
Go right ahead. We'll have at it. Go for it.
My mom, one time she was coming to meet me at a restaurant. She got hit by a car. But she got hit by she was getting off the bus and the car came up and smashed her right into a truck. And like how bad the accident was. Like there was like nobody around. Then soon as my mom landed on the ground, there was like 50 people out of nowhere right there and just stopped the people from leaving the scene. And they told her that she was lucky because they didn't believe that she got smashed into a truck because the car hit her right in her midsection.
Oh my.
And the car pushed the truck. The truck pushed the car. And it moved the tow truck, and she survived. They didn't believe how bad her injury was. And she survived. She had some damage on her arms and legs, a little bit, but she was in rehab for about a year. But yeah, God is good.
Oh yeah, God is definitely good. If I've seen miracles like that without doubt.
That. She wouldn't survive that if it wasn't for God or God sending an angel to help over her, because I don't know how, because how the car, I saw the incident, how the car hit my mom. I don't know how she wound up getting up and flying over, because the car hit her and got her right in her stomach. And if a car hits you and you smash it, you don't normally roll along with the car.
Uh-huh.
It was just amazing because she survived. They said they don't know how she survived. They try and say because she was a little heavy,
Right.
that it cushioned her organs, but that was God. God sent down the angel to protect my mother. In the prayer, I prayed to God, I was like, God, please help her. And like it happened in such a slow motion with the accident. Then they just sped up like I was watching a movie.
Mm.
That's how the car hit her into the truck. It hit her in the middle. And if the car hits you in the middle and the car moves, you normally don't move. And normally, I'm not being graphic, but normally a person would get cut in half.
Mm-hmm.
That's how the lady kept driving the car and dragging my mom. But my mom somehow, she rolled away from how they hit her and she flew up in the air. So her shoe went like 50 feet away from the accident, how bad the hit was.
Hmm.
A lot of people didn't believe it until they saw the tow truck and the dent in the tow truck and stuff like that. So I know God had her back, and God sent the angel down to protect her, because that type of incident and stuff like that with that speed, she wouldn't have survived.
Oh yeah, there's
it pushed the tow truck like 5 feet, 10 feet back.
That's crazy. But I absolutely believe it. I believe it without a doubt. There's a lot of stuff, with this particular accident you described, which sounded pretty gruesome. How can you not survive that? If you survive it, how can you not say, hey, an angel, God came in and said, hey, I want this person to live. So that's the only way I can explain it. The only way it makes sense to me.
Because if you would have saw her, it hit her stomach. Normally, if anything with a high force, near 20 miles per hour can kill you if it hits your stomach.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't even believe my mom that she got hit by the tow truck. I mean, she got hit by the car into the tow truck until I showed them pictures.
Hmm. Wow.
So I took pictures just in case if the person tries to run off from the scene and stuff, they have the person's face and the incident and stuff. I ran over to the lady and something called me. And my mom don't even remember calling my name. I ran over to the lady. I had some mean intentions, and I was about to run over and do something. Then my mom called me.
Yeah.
And then I ran over to my mom's aid. She said, "Tina, don't do that." And my mom was laying on the street.
Wow. Well,
My dad, he got somebody hit him. He got hit so bad that they hit him. They tried to kill him.
right.
They hit him, then they ran over. When the cops got to him, they thought he died. So they put him in a body bag. And so when the cops threw him into the paddy wagon,
Mm-hmm.
he woke up. They brought him back to life. He survived.
Mm-mm-mm. That's amazing.
Yeah, Yeah, I know my mom 100%. I know the angel came down and like touched her, like what I was told by the doctors and stuff that it was a miracle that she survived. Her odds, like, you know what I mean, for her surviving and stuff like that. See, I died one time too, and they brought me back to life. I remember some of it. Like, I remember seeing my family members. I remember my grandma coming up and telling me it wasn't my time. But I remember seeing this thing where you can see stuff in the future. Like, I remember certain things, like, you know what I mean?
All right. Absolutely.
I remember seeing stuff, and they said your mom, like, you know what I mean? Me and my mom have a real close bond and stuff like that. It's like, I remember certain things. Like, I remember they said your mom's gonna need you, and I was like, no, I gotta be there. She won't survive without me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Tina, I appreciate you calling in with that great story. That's just impressive, and it does hearken to the you know. I can't explain it other than angel intervened, God intervened to help your mother.
No, because if you ever watch like Final Destination and stuff like that, and somebody hit somebody hard enough in the car in that midsection, my mom wasn't that big of a lady. My mom was like 5'2", and she was a little heavy. She was like 230 pounds, but she was short. And where that car hit her right in the midsection, that would have killed her, because that's where her heart is. You know what I mean? When you're short, you're short.
Mm-hmm.
And the car was up, you know what I mean? And aiming in midsection, that's.
Oh yeah.
And where's the other story? I'm sorry, I had so many. It's just crazy, some of this stuff. Me and my friend Mandy, we were going to a carnival. Something told me not to go on this ride, and I was like, you know what? Let me face my fears and do this. And my gut's like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And so I go on this carnival ride. I go on this ride, right? It's one of these kind of rides that they lock you in a box and they spin the box.
Mm-hmm.
I never been on that ride. That was like, I always had a fear of that ride. So my common sense, I should have listened to myself. But I went on to the ride. Everything was going good until the seat bar came up. Thank God I had the seatbelt on. As the ride's going around, I catch my friend's cell phone in midair. And I'm holding on to the sides for my dear life, because I grabbed her phone and hold my hands, because the seatbelt's holding me, but as the seatbelt's holding me, the body is like, the ride is spinning upside down. It's like spinning. I'm like holding on myself for dear life. Man, I know there was an angel helping me there, because when I got home that day, the next day, I had bruises all over my leg from holding the dent, from me tippy-toeing to keep the rod on my leg. My friend was holding the rod down, and I'm like, it was weird. I'm like holding myself against the metal thing. I'm like, God, please help me. I got into a lot of after that, I never went on rides again. I learned my lesson. I should have listened to my mind when it told me not to go on that ride. You know, sometimes some stuff happens that first second. Like, your guardian angel gives you that little thing. Like, don't look over there. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Sometimes when I was younger, I used to get a lot of visions. I tried not to do it too much, because the stuff that I saw was really bad. The one vision that was horrified me when I was like 19 years old, somebody murdered a baby. I was walking by, going to the store, and in my head, something told me there's a body over there. Somebody killed the baby, and I went over there, and right under the rock there was a baby.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. And So like, you know what I mean? I know what, you know, my thing is with my visions, I can't control them. Sometimes I say stuff and I don't remember. Like I was speaking to this lady who lost her son. I was speaking to this lady who lost her son. And I don't even remember the conversation of the lady. She said, yeah, we had a conversation for like 2 hours. I was like, it wasn't me. She said, yeah, you really helped me with my son. I was like, I don't know who you are, miss. She said, no, we really had that conversation.
Wow.
Yeah, the other visions when I was younger, this lady, she kidnapped kids and she put the kids in these cages. Like she tried to grab me, but I ran because I tried to help. I went and got my parents, and they called the cops. And the time they came, they just found the cages in the basement. Yeah, I try not to use it for that purpose. When the lady told me I was running from something, when the spirits was saying, I was running from my visions. My visions when I first started getting them wasn't good. There's some other visions, like they had this one with the missing person from like 17 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Around my area. I know most of it, but you know what I mean, I wouldn't go to the cops with it because the people who did something, yeah, it was like what is it? It was like I was walking down a pier, I touched something, and then this movie played in my mind. And then I'm reacting both sides. I see myself. I'm like watching myself, like whatever's going on, something took over my body for a second. I see a point of view of the person, and then I see the person of the person who did it, and then I see the person that's hiding behind the thing. It's like 3 different points of view.
Okay.
And
hey, Tina, I've got another person is about ready to add on. Let me go ahead and thank you for calling in. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right. Good night.
Good night. All right, there we go. Well, what the heck's that? Okay. Be kind. Hey.
Hi.
Let me turn you up just a little bit here. Edit mic settings and
I'm
go. All right. Turned you up as best I could. So there you go.
Well, I'm trying to find my microphone on my computer to make sure I'm not giving you all an echo.
Oh, you're fine. I can't hear you.
Oh, okay.
I can hear you. Can you guys hear her? In the chat, throw 1 up for okay, 2 for so-so, or 3 you can't hear at all.
Hi, Sue. Hi, Donnie. Okay, so I don't know. Am I too late? Because I was trying to figure out Discord.
No. Heck, as long as I got somebody that's actually got halfway decent story, I'll keep on going for a little bit.
Well, is the topic still the power of prayer?
Why not? That sounds great to me. I'm good.
All righty. Hi, Big Cole. So here's the thing. My daughter, 32, had a horrific injury, which resulted in a TBI, traumatic brain injury. She was in a coma for over 100 days before she died. During those 100 days, these prayer warriors that I mentioned in chat and many, many, many other people supported my son and I during this whole experience. And every time groups would come to the various hospitals that she was in, or eventually when I moved her to hospice for end of life, and would pray over her. We would put our hands on her body and pray. And even if the prayer was 3 minutes, uh, all of her vital signs, which were constantly monitored with all this apparatus, and over 3 months of time, you become very attuned to what those monitors mean. um, all of her vital signs would improve within 5 minutes of being prayed over. And the improvement would last for hours. So there are a lot of ways that various belief systems will explain that, and all of them resonate with me, whether it be my belief system, which is divine intercession, whether it is various native cultures who say that it is energy from those around transferring to the injured person. I don't care. It doesn't matter how it works. That's my message. Is the only important thing is that we who experience it, or we who ask for this, accept that it does work and that it will work, and ask for that help. Now, a lot of people, this has been, I'm working on 7 years since the anniversary of her passing. And in those 7 years, because we are a society who is in denial about death and denial about grief and what it really means and what it really is, I've had a lot of surface level, horrible things said to me. I try and remember that these are blessed people who have never had anything truly tragic and uncontrollable touch their life and completely train wreck their entire world. And so they don't know what they're saying. But the thing is, she did get healed, to my mind.
Mm-hmm.
She had the ultimate healing. Where she is now, she was always a sports person, very tomboy. She knew how to skateboard before she could ride a bike. She is not encumbered by her numerous physical injuries, apart from the traumatic brain injury and the coma. All of the broken bones and everything, she doesn't have any of that crap now. She got the ultimate healing, and she is free.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how my prayers for her were answered, was that she not suffer and that she be healed. So
Mm-hmm.
this is the power of prayer, and there is so much that we do not understand about our body and our mind and our souls and this existence here on earth, that when the I'm sorry, when the shit
Okay.
really hits the fan, everyone please just ask for help. Just ask for help. Say it out loud, say it crying in the shower, say it, just ask for help. It doesn't even matter if you know who you're asking. The help will come. Just ask for help and you will get the help. I'm sorry. I've
That's
gone
all
on
right.
too long.
No. You take all the time you want. You know.
But
Thank you for calling in and telling
but
us.
that's the power of prayer. It doesn't matter how you pray. It all that matters is the supreme beings that hear your prayer, that hear your ask for help. They will honor it and they will
Mhm.
help you. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid that you've never been to church. Don't be afraid that you're not baptized. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. They will recognize the sincerity of your request.
All right.
And if it's motivated by love and compassion for the person you're asking for this help, the help will come. And don't get jaded if it isn't the specific help you're asking for, because our knowledge is limited and that might limit what you think you need. But it always comes. It always comes.
Right. Hmm.
That's
That is,
all.
that's a power. Was a heartfelt message, powerful message. I hate that you came across this truth so at the end of your daughter's life, but that's amazing message.
It's a powerful, painful truth.
Hmm. Absolutely.
And, that's how life works sometimes.
Absolutely. You have to go through the bad to find the good sometimes. And unfortunately,
Yeah. Well, I think that that's what grace helps us do.
Mhm.
Grace helps us wade through the horrible in order to find anything good out of it.
Mhm.
And that's the saving part for humanity, in my
Well,
opinion.
though we walk through the valley of shadow of death, I shall
Mhm.
fear no evil. Evil. So,
Indeed. Okay, thank you so
absolutely.
much, Shawn. I'm
All
sorry
right.
for taking so long.
Oh no, you took exactly what you needed to take, and if you needed more time, I would have gave it until you were done.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Good night. So let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and remove you. Oh, she already removed herself. There you go. That was an amazing story. We got 11 more minutes. What the heck? Don't you hate it when you got like a hair on your tongue? Sorry about being so gross. That just drove me nuts. Thank you. Be kind. Oh my God. The power of prayer is essential to everything. The power of prayer, even the kindness, the want, the intent to say, "Hey, I care about you. I want to make a positive impact," even though that you may not have any way of impacting them physically. Reaching out and say, please, dear God, please, dear God, help this person out. You know, that intent behind that, speaking the power of prayer, speaking into existence, your intent through God's will. That's amazing. That's amazing. All right. Final call for last caller, 931-994-6917. I'll give it about 9 more minutes left on this old thing, 3 hours into. I used to do, well, I've done a 5-hour show twice, and that just literally just whooped me up and side down the other. But 3 hours sounds about right. Well, Bill Cole, the reason these shows keep getting better is because people are calling in, or always call in with great stories, with great comments like "Be Kind." Tina, God love her. Holy cow, Tina's always got a good story. And who was the first one to hit that old bot right there in the wrench club? Somebody take a wrench and hit that bot there. And we have Peter and my good friend Cisco. Holy cow, that lady can talk. That lady can talk. Ah, there we go. Well, Big Cole got a hold of it. Let me see if I hide user from that channel. Yep, we got her hidden. When those anytime that use wrenches, anybody that does that, don't put anybody in timeout. If you make a decision that, hey, this person has said whatever, or these bots, just hide them from the channel. One strike and they're out. I don't give them 3 strikes. I'm not that kind of fellow. I don't give chances. If they come in here, try to do whatever, especially with these bots, just hide them from the channel. If I disagree with you, I will, unhide them or whatever. I've done that in the past, and there's no hard feelings, no big deal. But just hide them from the channel. Don't put them in a timeout. Just hide them. And if I have to go back and unhide them, say something mislicked or whatever, no big deal. But there you go. I'm not a big fan of hot pockets whatsoever. Don beat you to it. That's all right. I got her. Y'all get her. Thank you for holding those wrenches. Bash the bots. God bless y'all. Holy cow, this has been one heck of a show. Quite honestly, I was come in to say, hey, I got sort of like a, I don't know, honor. Honor. About being wrote up about what I do with these open lines. And I will share that article out as soon as I get a link to it. And I'm amazed that somebody would think enough about me to write an article about what I'm doing here. That is just amazing to me. God bless y'all. Got about 6 more minutes. If you want to call in 931-994-6917. Or if you look at Chasing the Truth 2018 on Skype. Hell, why not? If you want to come in, let's do this. Share, do an invite. I was going to do this, but why not? StreamYard links in the chat there. If you want to be a part of the show, all you have to do is have a microphone, not for Skype, but just to get on StreamYard. You have to have a microphone or a video camera. Don't have to have the video camera, but the microphone you definitely have to have. You get it through that way if you want to get on the show that way. Just amazing. Amazing. I can't believe how these shows come along. Good night, Be Kind. Thank you for being part of the show. Stimulate says, I think your show is helping a lot more than you might realize. Well, had this discussion with all this stuff. Now, I know I argued for 8 people to come back to do something with them. And if, like the 8th person, I'm still up in the air about who the hell that 8th person is on that list. And if I help everyone that comes across that I think that might be that 8th person on that list, no matter who it is, male, female, whatever, what am I out? Other than I tried to be, fulfill my promise to God. And that's how I look at it. From the perspective of writing, I write for 2 specific people that I know the names of. Definitely know the names of them. But I have yet to talk to them yet. I don't even know if they know I exist. I don't think so. Maybe. You told God 8. I think he's upping you 1 on the challenge and having you help many more. I look at it from a perspective of, if I do help more than 8, then that's the way it is. I don't have a problem with it. At least my intent is to help at least 8 people out. If I help more, great. If I don't, at least I gave it a stab at it, saying, hey, God, I at least tried. But there you go. When it's time, I will find out. I'm sure I'll find out sooner or later who that is. I don't know. Here's the thing. I've had this discussion with Julie, my real good friend. One's kind of helped me out, and she is one of the 8, by the way. I don't have any problems telling you that she is one of the 8. But I had a discussion. She said, well, I've had a couple of NDEs myself. How come I don't remember all that stuff and you remember all these things too? I was like, I look at it from a perspective of it is so freaking fragmented. It was so fragmented up until 97 days ago. And it's still fragmented to me right now by those memories. All I can tell you is God gave them to me to share in some shape, form, or fashion. So that's what I'm trying in earnest to do. And hopefully I can get some of it done. If I die tomorrow, at least I gave it a good go. Hopefully I won't die tomorrow, but you never know these days and times and stuff. But holy cow. All right, folks. I think I'm about done for tonight. Appreciate you being a part of the show. Again, I'm going to be on. Oh, wait a minute. We got Wig. Let's see what the Wig's got. Wiggler,
hey, Shawn.
Hey, man. I ain't talked to you in a hot minute. What's up with you?
Everything. I am the news.
You are. Holy crap. Okay, Wig. What's the news, buddy?
Well, I just had to jump on here and give everybody a chance to see me. I know everyone's been missing seeing me on Vault's show, so hey, I'm out here. I'm out here spreading my stuff around.
Well, there you go. I appreciate you jumping up. Vault doing all right. I ain't heard from him in a hot minute.
I talked to Vault a few days ago, and Vault's fine. He's got a lot of personal shit that he's dealing with right now, and doesn't have time to do the show. But he's in good shape. He's eating. He's taking his pills.
Awesome. Send prayers out to him to help him through whatever he's going through. But yeah, so what's going on with you? Yeah, I ain't seen or heard from you in a while.
Well, I'm in the process of making a beanie for Gloria. This one's kind of being a pain in the butt. Not because it's difficult, but because I'm basically making two at once. It's got an inner layer and an outer layer. So it's like work on one for a while, then work on the other.
Oh, there you go. Well, you got to put your mind at ease with one. If you get tired of one, work on the other. Yeah, I can see that.
And I'm
think that's
still
what
working. I'm still working on the bacon scarf.
I'd like to see that as soon as you're done with that bacon scarf. That'd be cool.
I got the beanie finished.
Well, can you show that on camera or what?
Yeah.
I'd like to at least see some of it. That'd be cool.
Yeah, give me a second here.
All right. We'll see the bacon beanie here in just a second. He's been last, 3 months at least. He's been talking about a bacon beanie and bacon scarf.
Okay, let's see if the camera can pick it up.
Oh, that's cool. Hold on a second. Let me get you a little bit bigger here, buddy. Oh, way out. There you go. I got you full on. That's cool. There's a lot of skill behind that.
Yeah, I'm real proud of it. The pattern that I'm using, I crochet, but I wanted it to come out looking knitted. Well, that's no easy trick.
I say.
I figured out a pattern and a way of doing it. So yeah, patting myself on the back.
Yeah, I used to have. My ex-wife used to crochet like crazy. Now, that's one of her things that she did. I don't know if she still does it. I'll have to ask her next time I talk to her. But yeah, that was just one of those things that she loved to do. And I don't think I have it anymore. She crocheted this, kind of little throw or whatever years ago when she and I were married. But she did wonderful work. I wonder if she still does that. I'm pretty sure she has. She moved down to Florida a long time ago. But anyway, well, Wig, I appreciate you being a part of the show, buddy, as usual.
No, not a problem at all.
Good seeing you. Good talking to you. I'm going to say the good night prayer for everybody.
Okay.
Get this thing going on, buddy. And let's see. Where is it? Right here. That's what I want. All right. So this is one that says, Cisco said, hey, whatever your exit prayer is, I like to have you say this is the one. So here it goes. Lord Jesus Christ, in thy love and mercy, establish a perimeter of protection around us and all our loved ones, those who pray for us and those and their loved ones. May the holy angels guard us and all our possessions, establishing a perimeter of protection around us, rendering us immune from any kind of demonic influence. Ask that no demonic bondage, door, demonic entity, portal, astral projection, or disembodied spirit may enter the space of 100 yards in all directions of us. Ask that any demons within the vicinity or any that should try to enter here be rendered deaf, dumb, and blind, that thou would strip them of all weapons, armor, power, illusion, and authority, that thou would bind, rebuke, and disable them from communicating and interacting with each other in any way. Remove them, sending them directly to thy foot of thy cross, Jesus, Son of the Most High. Ask this in thy glorious and most holy name. Dear God in heaven, please bless those that are hurting, body, mind, and spirit, those that are sick, those that are in need of just some sort of sustenance from you. Reach out and touch their hearts. Give them what they need. Bind those that are in strife against each other. Please, dear God, just help them. In Jesus Christ's name, amen. All right, folks, that's about it. Again, You can reach out to me, 931-994-6917. That's the number I do answer. Probably not in the middle of the night, though. Just give you a heads up. But Creepy Unsolved, I will be on their podcast tomorrow night, Dylan and Laura. I don't know when that's going to air, but stay tuned for that. I will definitely be sharing that out on my community page. If you want to be a part of the Chasing the Truth Discord channel, which hold on just a second, let me get an invite here. Copy and pop it into the chat over here. It's free to join. Got all kinds of interesting people over there. I think I'm getting pretty close to like 200 people on that server. But if you want to be a part of that, please jump in there and do that. But Nicole, Trina. Hey, Trina, I forgot to say howdy do there to you. Sister from West Virginia up there. Sue, always a pleasure. Paper Chase, Tina, thank you for calling in, Tina. Thank you again to Cisco, Peter, Be Kind, and Wig for being a part of the show. You have been a blessing, one and all. Big Cole, Nickel, Eddie. Let's see, who else is in here that I haven't said? Wayne. What's up, brother? Donnie Cho, of course. He is always a pleasure to see what's going to come out of that boy's mouth. Let's see who else. Keith, buddy. Keith, man, what is going on with your dad? Is everything all right with y'all? I've been waiting to hear from you. And let's see. Anybody else I have not said? Oh, Bonita. Yeah, I've already said hello to Bonita. Midnight Amongst Monsters. Stimulate. Try to reach all these, find, and all the crazy bots and the hot pockets that have been eliminated from my world. Chasing the truth. Go chase something else. So anyway, God bless y'all. And definitely, Shawn G at IamDarkWaters.com. Go to IamDarkWaters.com. Fringe.fm. And holy cow. Y'all are a blessing to me. Honestly, you guys are a blessing to me. I look forward to doing these shows every time I come on board and doing these guest appearances wherever I do these guest appearances at, which the next one I said was going to be Creepy Unsolved with Dylan and Laura. And yeah, I plan on having all kinds of crazy stuff. Then I did a podcast. Paranormal Heart. Did one with her last week sometime, I think. 2 hours. But you never know what you're going to get when you come to see me. Listen to what's coming out of my mouth. But holy cow, God bless y'all. And well, Trina, I appreciate that. I'm not sure how. No, heck, I'm a blessing, but I appreciate that. And you're definitely a blessing to me. Each and every one of you is a blessing to me. But holy cow. All right, folks. I'll see you this Friday on Southern Supernatural. Same channel, same not bat time. The girls wanted to advance the time to, I think, 10 Eastern until I think Danielle's going to move over to BC and then may change up. I don't know. We'll see. Holy cow. Crazy. And I think that's about it. I'm going to hit the old whatever. For the folks over there on the Paranormal Radio app and the Chasing the Truth of signing off air in the Dark Water channel over there. Appreciate y'all. And I'm out of here.